The Stoic Morning, how to unlock power, purpose, and peace before sunrise. Every morning when your eyes slowly open, you are faced with a simple but life-altering question. Will today control you, or will you command it? That moment, in the stillness before the noise, is where your power lies. In this video, we'll walk together through 9 timeless Stoic steps that will reshape how you rise, think, feel, and act. Steps that philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus live by, not just to survive, but to rule over their own minds. You'll learn how to create silence in chaos, how to respond with strength instead of impulse. And by the end of this video, I will reveal the most powerful step of all, the one that even the wisest Stoics believe defines your entire destiny. But we start where every day should begin. 1. Begin with stillness. Before the phone, before the noise, before the world demands your attention, there must be a moment of stillness. Not because it's trendy, not because it's spiritual, but because without it, you are at the mercy of the storm. Imagine this. The sun has barely risen. The city is asleep. You sit by a window, a faint breeze curling through the crack. There is no movement, no sound, only you and your breath. This is your anchor, because life will soon speed up, emails, traffic, expectations. But in this space, you reclaim control. The Stoics believe that stillness is not the absence of movement, but the presence of intention. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor with the weight of a world on his shoulders, still carved out time each morning to sit in silence, to ask himself, what kind of man will I choose to be today? He knew the external world is never under our control, but the internal world, that's where power begins. Sit in stillness, even if just for 5 minutes. Let your thoughts rise and fall like waves. Don't fight them, just observe. Because in those quiet moments, you're not escaping life. You're preparing to face it like a warrior. 2. Watch your first thought. The moment you open your eyes, your mind moves fast. A flood of thoughts rushes in. Deadlines, worries, memories, regrets. And before you even leave your bed, those first few thoughts have already begun shaping your day. But here's the truth the Stoics knew well. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who watches them, just like a guard at the gates of a fortress. You decide what enters and what gets turned away. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind." So ask yourself, what is the quality of your first thought? Is it reactive, anxious, heavy, or is it calm, curious, and strong? When your first thought is, "This is going to be a disaster," your brain finds evidence to prove it. But when your first thought is, "This is a chance," you begin looking for solutions. You don't need to force happiness. This isn't fake positivity. It's about learning to pause. Catch the first thought. Question it. Choose something better. The power is not in controlling what pops into your head. It's in choosing what you allow to stay. Because once you master the first thought, you master the direction of your day. 3. Silence before the storm, before the noise, before the phone lights up, before the world asks anything of you. There should be a moment that belongs to just you, not 10 minutes scrolling, not emails, not planning, but pure silence, the kind that feels like a breath. For the soul, the Stoics believe that in stillness, we come face to face with truth. True strength is quiet. It doesn't shout. It doesn't rush. It observes, waits, and then speaks with clarity. Imagine standing at the edge of a still lake before sunrise. No movement, no sound. That's the kind of silence your morning deserves, not for escape, but for alignment. In that silence, you get to meet yourself again. Not who the world expects you to be, but who you actually are. What am I feeling? What do I need? What am I here to do today? These questions don't need loud answers. The answers live in that pause, subtle but powerful. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Let that apply to your inner world too. Don't race into the storm of your day without first standing in the eye of it. 5 minutes. No noise, no distraction, just presence. Because silence isn't the absence of life. It's the space where life speaks the loudest. 4. Mastering self-control. We often think of control as something external, a job we need to manage, people we need to influence, or circumstances we need to change. But what if the true mastery of control starts from within? The Stoics knew this truth well. They understood that the only thing we truly have control over is our own mind and actions, not the outside world, not the behavior of others, not the situations we face. If we want to live with strength, self-control must become our daily practice. Picture this. It's a busy morning and everything seems to be falling apart. The pressure's building, deadlines are looming, and emotions are running high. It's easy to react, to lash out, to stress out, to lose control. But what if you decided not to react? What if, instead of rushing to meet the chaos, you paused, centered yourself, and chose to respond with calm, clarity, and purpose? That's the power of self-control. You see, in every challenge, there's an opportunity to choose how to respond. And the Stoics believed that this ability is the real measure of a person's character. When you control your reactions, you start to control your life. You refuse to be swept up by your emotions, the opinions of others, or the unpredictable tides of the world. Instead, you become anchored, grounded, present. Self-control doesn't mean suppression or denial. It means discipline in how you direct your energy. It's not about avoiding challenges. It's about embracing them with purposeful intent. Start by identifying your triggers. What sets you off? What causes you to lose your cool? And when you notice those triggers arise, pause, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what can I control here? Because in that moment of choice, you'll realize you have the power to stay grounded no matter what's happening around you. Self-control is not perfection, it's progress. The small wins each day, choosing calm over chaos, clarity over confusion. And that, my friend, is how you master the art of living. 5. Facing your fears. Fear is a natural instinct that we all experience, but it's also one of the biggest barriers standing between you and the life you truly desire. What if fear wasn't something to run from, but a tool to grow from? The Stoics had a radical way of thinking about fear. They saw it as an ally, not an enemy. They didn't shy away from their fears. They faced them head on. Fear is like a shadow, always lurking just outside of your comfort zone. It can feel overwhelming, even paralyzing. But the Stoics knew something crucial. The world is not as threatening as our minds make it seem. Take a moment to reflect on the fears that hold you back. What scares you? Public speaking? Starting a new project? The fear of failure? Now ask yourself this. Are these fears based in reality, or are they simply stories your mind has made up? Think about it. How many times have you been afraid of something, only to realize later that the fear was much worse than the actual outcome? That's the power of doubt. Our minds tend to exaggerate danger, painting a much darker picture than reality demands. Now consider this. What would happen if you stepped directly into that fear? If you leaned into it instead of retreating from it? For example, imagine you're terrified of swimming. You've avoided it for years, but then you decide to take the plunge. At first, it's uncomfortable, maybe even terrifying, but step by step, you get better. You learn, you grow, and suddenly you're no longer controlled by the fear of water. You've conquered it. This is how growth works. It's not a smooth, easy road. But every time you face your fear, you expand your boundaries and unlock new strengths within you. Here's another example. Imagine standing at the edge of a cliff. The wind is whipping through your hair, your heart racing, your knees shaking. It's the fear of heights, that gut-wrenching terror. you'll find that everything you desire, personal transformation, success, freedom, lies just beyond that point where fear resides. The Stoics knew that facing fear is part of the journey. It's not about being fearless. It's about acting in spite of fear. Start small. Begin with little challenges that scare you. Speak in front of a group. Take on a difficult conversation. Change a small habit that you've been avoiding. Every time you take action, your confidence will grow. And with every step forward, you'll see that fear is not something to fear at all. It's simply a signal pointing you toward something greater. What's the next step for you? To face that fear head on, or to continue to let it control you? Remember, on the other side of fear lies freedom, a life of boldness and meaning. CX, faith in yourself. What is the secret to achieving your goals? To turn your dreams into reality? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's something more powerful. Faith in yourself. Self-confidence is the bedrock of all success. Without it, you won't have the courage to take the necessary steps forward. With it, you become unstoppable. But how do you build that faith in yourself? How do you maintain it, especially in the face of failure or doubt? The Stoics believed that self-worth comes from within. It's not about the external world, the applause of others, or the recognition you receive. Your value is intrinsic, rooted in your ability to act with virtue and purpose. Even when you don't feel like it, you are enough. But let's be honest, building self-confidence isn't easy. There will be setbacks. There will be times when you feel inadequate, unsure, and weak. It's during these times that persistence and determination become your greatest allies. The Stoics would remind you, you are not defined by your failures. Each setback is a lesson, a stepping stone on your journey. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison didn't stop. He believed in his abilities despite the countless obstacles he faced. His belief in himself was what eventually led him to success. But faith in yourself isn't just about never quitting. It's about learning from each failure, adjusting, and getting back up stronger than before. Each time you fail, you learn something new. And with each lesson, you become more resilient. You've probably experienced this in your own life. Have you ever had a moment where you almost gave up, but then you chose to keep going, and something shifted? Your strength grew, your confidence soared, and you realized you could do it. The journey isn't about perfection, it's about growth. Faith in yourself doesn't come from having all the answers. It comes from the belief that you can figure things out along the way. Remember, self-confidence isn't a one-time decision. It's something you choose every day. It's the belief that, no matter what, you are worthy and capable of achieving your dreams. And when you look back on the struggles you've overcome, you'll realize that each challenge was a necessary part of your growth. Self-belief isn't about ignoring your flaws or pretending you're perfect. It's about accepting who you are and embracing your journey, knowing that you have everything you need within you to succeed. So when the doubts creep in, when failure knocks on your door, remind yourself, I am enough, I am capable, and I will keep going. That is the foundation of unshakable self-confidence. 7. Live fully in the present. Do you ever find yourself caught in the cycle of worrying about the future or regretting the past? We all do. It's easy to get trapped in our own thoughts, racing forward to what's next or reflecting on what's already gone. But what if I told you that the secret to living a fulfilling life isn't about worrying about what's ahead, nor dwelling on what's behind? It's about living fully in the present. The Stoics understood this deeply. They taught that the only thing we can control is the present moment. The past is gone. The future is uncertain. But the now, the present, is the one thing that is entirely within our power. Living in the present is not just a philosophy, it's a way of being. It's about embracing the moment fully, without distraction, without anxiety about what's next. When you live in the present, you experience life for what it truly is, alive, vibrant, and rich with opportunity. Let's be clear, living in the present doesn't mean ignoring the future or forgetting about the past. It means making a conscious choice to not let them steal your peace. Take a moment right now and think about it. How often do you lose yourself in thoughts of tomorrow's challenges or yesterday's mistakes? And how often do you stop, breathe, and simply experience the moment? When you live fully in the present, you begin to notice the little things. The warmth of sunlight on your skin, the feeling of your breath moving in and out, the joy of a simple conversation, the beauty of the world around you that often goes unnoticed. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, spent his life in the service of others, yet he always made time to be present. In his meditations, he wrote about the importance of staying grounded in the present moment, even in the midst of chaos and uncertainty. His example teaches us that, no matter what role we play in life, whether a leader, a parent, or a friend, the key to maintaining peace and wisdom is to focus on what's right in front of you. You see, when we're not caught in the past or future, we become more attuned to the needs of the present. You can handle challenges more effectively, make decisions with a clear mind, and ultimately enjoy the process of living. When you begin to truly live in the present, you also start to build deeper, more meaningful relationships. Have you ever had a conversation with someone, but your mind was elsewhere, thinking about your to-do list or your next meeting? It's not only disrespectful to the other person, but it also prevents you from building genuine connections. Being present in the moment, really listening and engaging, creates a space for authentic relationships to grow. It's about giving someone your full attention, your undivided focus. It's in these moments that we truly connect with others and show them the respect they deserve. Living in the present also brings clarity. You stop chasing after things that don't truly matter. Instead, you focus on what's important, what aligns with your values and purpose. By living in the now, you also reduce stress and anxiety. Why? Because you realize that the present moment is all that truly exists. The past is gone. The future is uncertain. The present is where your power lies. So how do you start living fully in the present? It starts with small actions. Take a moment each day to pause and breathe. Be mindful of your surroundings. Notice the sensations in your body. Feel the weight of your feet on the ground. Slow down and pay attention to the present moment. The more you practice living in the now, the easier it becomes. And the more you do so, the more you realize that the present is all you ever really need. 8. Use positive words to start your day. How do you speak to yourself when you first wake up in the morning? Do you start your day with a sense of optimism, or are you already weighed down by the challenges that lie ahead? The words you use, the thoughts you allow to take root in your mind, can set the tone for your entire day. Words are powerful. They shape our reality. They influence our emotions, our decisions, and the way we interact with the world. The words you choose to start your day can either lift you up or drag you down. Stoics like Epictetus knew the power of words. He believed that our thoughts, and the way we speak to ourselves, could either empower us or hold us back. When you use positive language, you create a mindset of possibility, a belief that no matter the obstacle, you have the strength to handle it. Imagine this. You wake up and immediately start telling yourself, "Today is going to be a great day. I am capable. I will face challenges with calm and strength." How does that make you feel? The simple act of speaking positive words helps you to reframe your reality and set the stage for a successful day. Positive words don't mean ignoring difficulties. They don't mean pretending that life is easy or that challenges don't exist. Instead, being positive means choosing to focus on solutions, on what you can control, and on what you can learn from every experience. When you wake up with a sense of gratitude, when you speak words that encourage and uplift you, you are planting seeds of growth and resilience in your mind. And just like seeds, these words begin to grow and shape the way you see the world. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by what's ahead, you start seeing opportunities. You start approaching challenges with a sense of confidence instead of fear. For example, think about the famous writer J.K. Rowling. Before she became a global sensation with the Harry Potter series, she faced countless failures. She was rejected by multiple publishers and had little money. But instead of letting these setbacks define her, She chose to speak positive words to herself. She told herself, "What doesn't kill me makes me stronger." And those words gave her the strength to keep going. Words like these aren't just for moments of hardship. They can become your daily foundation. Start your morning by saying things like, "I am strong, I am capable, I can face whatever comes my way." These words will not only change your internal dialogue, but they will shift the energy you bring to your day. And don't just stop with yourself. Speak positive words to those around you. Tell your loved ones how much you appreciate them. Encourage your friends or colleagues when they're feeling down. When you speak to others with kindness and positivity, you not only brighten their day, but you also reinforce the positivity within yourself. Remember, positive words are not just empty phrases. They are tools of transformation. They can build your confidence, boost your mood, and even strengthen your relationships. The words you choose to speak create your reality, so make sure that the words you choose empower you and others. Starting your day with positive words is a simple but profound practice that can change the way you experience life. It's a practice that creates hope, resilience, and clarity. And best of all, it's something that you can do every day to set the tone for your life. 9. Kiri. Ponder your dreams. As the first light of dawn breaks through your window, take a moment. Before you dive into the demands of the day, before you let the rush of responsibilities take over, pause. Think about the dreams you've carried within you, the desires that stir your soul and ignite your passions. Ponder your dreams. Dreams are not simply fantasies that fade with the morning. They are the beacons that guide us. They provide clarity, direction, and purpose. But more importantly, they reflect the deepest parts of who we are, our core values, our passions, and our aspirations. So, when you wake up each day, don't just think about the tasks ahead. Take a few moments to think about your dreams. Where do you want to go in life? What do you want to create? What impact do you want to have on the world around you? Your dream is not a distant idea. It's the very thing that drives you to get up every morning, ready to face the world. It fuels your determination and gives you the strength to persevere when times get tough. Here's the thing about dreams. They are not always easy. They demand sacrifice, commitment, and sometimes even the willingness to fail over and over again. But they are worth every bit of effort. Dreams make the journey worthwhile. Think about the story of a young artist. She started her journey creating simple paintings, some of which were overlooked by the public. She faced rejection after rejection, yet she refused to give up. Her dream of becoming a renowned artist kept her going. Each failure wasn't a reason to quit, but a chance to learn, grow, and refine her craft. Eventually, her persistence paid off. Her unique artwork caught the attention of art collectors, and she became a highly respected figure in the art world. The path wasn't easy, but it was rich with growth. Her dream was her compass, guiding her forward even in the darkest of times. What does your dream look like? Is it clear, or is it something you've never fully articulated? Take some time to think about it. Let your mind visualize the success that awaits you. Feel the joy, the sense of accomplishment, and the pride that will come when you reach it. But don't just think about the destination. The real value is found in the journey. You see, life is not just about achieving your dream. It's about becoming the person capable of achieving it. The obstacles, the setbacks, and even the failures are all part of the process that shapes you into the person who can make your dream a reality. When you understand your dream, when you truly connect with it, something incredible happens. You stop seeing the challenges as barriers and start seeing them as opportunities to grow, to learn, and to evolve. Every setback becomes a lesson, every failure a stepping stone. Reflecting on your dream daily helps you stay focused and motivated. It reminds you why you're doing what you're doing. When the challenges arise, when life gets tough, your dream will be the anchor that keeps you grounded. It's the reason you keep going, even when the path seems unclear. So take a moment every morning to reconnect with your dream. Visualize it, feel it, and remind yourself that you are worthy of it. Your dream is not just a distant wish, it is a calling, and with every step you take, you're one step closer to making it real. 10. Recognize your power to choose. Each day you are given a gift, a new opportunity to shape your life, to decide who you will be and how you will respond to what life throws at you. And at the heart of this is one of the most powerful truths of Stoic philosophy: you have the power to choose. No matter the circumstances, no matter the challenges you face, you always have the ability to decide your response. It's easy to get caught up in life's challenges. You can easily fall into the trap of believing that the world is out of your control, that your circumstances dictate who you are and how you feel. But here's the truth. The one thing you can always control is how you react to any situation. This idea is central to Stoic philosophy. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, said it perfectly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This simple yet powerful truth is the key to inner freedom. When you understand that your reaction is the only thing that is truly in your control, you unlock a sense of peace. Instead of feeling powerless or overwhelmed by life's challenges, you realize that you have the ability to choose how you want to experience life. Imagine this. You're in a difficult situation. Maybe it's a confrontation with someone, a setback in your goals, or a problem at work. You could choose to respond with frustration, anger, or fear, or you could choose to respond with calmness, clarity, and wisdom. It's not always easy, but the more you practice this mindset, the more powerful and centered you become. In each moment, you have the choice to rise above the situation or to let it control you. And every time you make the conscious choice to respond from a place of calm and reason, you strengthen your ability to remain centered, no matter what life throws at you. Take a moment to reflect on the times when you felt out of control. How many of those times were because you felt like the world was happening to you, instead of recognizing that you had a choice in how to respond? By embracing the power of choice, you free yourself from the weight of external circumstances. One powerful way to remind yourself of this choice is by practicing mindfulness each morning. As soon as you wake up, take a deep breath and say to yourself, "Today I choose how I will respond. I will act with calm, clarity, and wisdom." This small practice can transform your entire day. It sets the tone for how you approach life's challenges. When you make the conscious decision to choose your response, you begin to reclaim your power and build a life of purpose and inner peace. By incorporating this simple practice into your daily routine, you remind yourself that you are in control. You are not at the mercy of life's events. You are the one who decides how to experience them, and that is the ultimate power. 11. Embrace failure as a teacher. Failure. It's a word that many of us fear, avoid, and try to push out of our minds. But what if I told you that failure is not the enemy? What if, instead of running from it, you leaned into it? What if you viewed failure not as a setback, but as an opportunity for growth? The Stoics, in their wisdom, understood that failure is a natural part of life. It's something we all experience. And yet, many of us approach failure with fear, shame, or frustration. But the Stoics believe that failure, when viewed properly, is an essential part of the path to success and self-improvement. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, famously said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." Failure is the friction that polishes you into the person you're meant to be. It's the fire that shapes you, forges your resilience, and strengthens your character. Here's the secret. Every failure carries within it a lesson that, if you're willing to learn from it, can propel you forward. But the key is perspective. You see, failure only becomes negative when we allow it to define us. It only holds us back when we dwell on the past and let our mistakes dictate our future. But when we look at failure as feedback, as an essential part of the learning process, it becomes an invaluable tool for growth. Think about it. Have you ever tried something new? Maybe it was a project, a relationship, or a goal you were passionate about. You put in your time, effort, and energy only to have it fail. It can feel disheartening, and you might even be tempted to give up. But what if, instead of retreating, you looked at your failure with curiosity? What if you asked yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? When you view failure through this lens, it loses its power to defeat you. Instead of seeing yourself as a failure, you see yourself as a learner. And every time you fail, you grow. For example, consider the story of Thomas Edison, the brilliant inventor who failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the light bulb. Each failure was not an end, but a step on the path toward success. Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That's the mindset of someone who embraces failure, not as an end, but as a stepping stone. And the same mindset can help you grow into the best version of yourself. Think about a skill you've wanted to master. Maybe it's something you've struggled with in the past, something that seemed impossible at the time. But what if you embraced failure as feedback instead of fearing it? What if each failed attempt was simply a lesson that got you one step closer to your goal? This is what the Stoics understood. Failure is not a reflection of who you are. It's simply a part of the process. When you embrace failure, you embrace the process of becoming stronger, wiser, and more capable. So the next time you face failure, don't shy away from it. Lean into it. Learn from it, and know that each failure is simply a stepping stone toward success. 12. Develop resilience through pain. Resilience. It's a word that's often tossed around, but what does it really mean? Resilience is the ability to bounce back from adversity, to continue moving forward even when the world tries to knock you down. But how do you develop it? Here's the Stoic secret. Resilience is not built in times of ease, but in times of struggle. It's forged through pain, hardship, and challenge. The Stoics knew that to truly grow and strengthen your character, you must face difficult situations head-on. They believed that every challenge was an opportunity for growth, a chance to become more resilient. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, obstacles are not things to avoid. They are things to face, to overcome, and in doing so, to grow stronger. When we face hardship, we are given the opportunity to develop resilience, to rise above our circumstances, to stay calm, and to stay focused on what we can control. Resilience isn't about avoiding pain. It's about learning to handle pain in a healthy way. Pain is an inevitable part of life, whether it's physical pain, emotional pain, or mental strain. But the key is how we respond to it. Imagine this. You're going through a difficult time. Maybe you're dealing with a loss, a setback, or a personal challenge. You feel overwhelmed, like everything is stacked against you. But the Stoics would advise you to pause and ask yourself, how can I grow through this? What can this pain teach me? By shifting your mindset, you begin to see pain not as something to avoid, but as something that can shape you, that can teach you invaluable lessons. In this way, pain becomes a tool, not a burden. And resilience is born from this ability to embrace pain rather than shy away from it. Here's a powerful example. A friend of mine once went through a brutal period of physical pain after an injury. She spent months in physical therapy, frustrated and discouraged. But rather than allowing her circumstances to control her, she chose to see this time as an opportunity to learn. She focused on her recovery process, set small goals each day, and became stronger with every challenge she faced. She didn't just get back to where she was before the injury, she came back stronger. Her pain became the catalyst for her growth, and through resilience, she came out the other side more powerful than ever. It's not just physical pain that makes us resilient. Emotional pain, like heartbreak, loss, or disappointment, also offers us a chance to develop resilience. When we experience emotional pain, we are forced to confront our vulnerabilities, our fears, and our weaknesses. But in doing so, we also discover our inner strength, the strength to carry on, the strength to rebuild. The Stoics would remind us that pain is part of life. It's a universal experience, something we all face in one form or another. And while we cannot always avoid it, we can choose how to respond to it. Will we allow pain to defeat us, or will we use it as a tool to grow? Resilience isn't built overnight. It's a gradual process, one that takes time and requires us to constantly remind ourselves that challenges are part of the journey. As you develop resilience, you'll notice that the challenges that once seemed overwhelming will no longer have the same power over you. You'll become stronger, more centered, and better equipped to handle whatever life throws your way. So remember, every time you face hardship, you have a choice. Will you let it break you, or will you rise and let it shape you into the resilient person you were meant to be? 13. Practice gratitude every day. Gratitude is often seen as a simple practice, but the Stoics understood its power. They knew that practicing gratitude wasn't just about feeling thankful for the good things in life. It was about retraining your mind to focus on what you have, rather than what you don't. Every morning before you even get out of bed, take a moment to reflect on what you're grateful for. It could be something big, like your health or your family, or it could be something small, like the warmth of your blankets or the sound of birds singing outside your window. The Stoics believe that gratitude should be at the core of our daily lives, for it helps us see the world through a different lens. Seneca, the Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." What he meant was that often we focus on the negative aspects of our lives, exaggerating them in our minds until they feel overwhelming. But when we practice gratitude, we bring our focus back to the present moment and to what's already good in our lives. Gratitude is like a reset button for our minds. It shifts our focus away from lack and toward abundance. Think about it. When you begin your day thinking about what you're thankful for, you set the tone for everything that follows. You're no longer distracted by anxiety about the future or regrets about the past. Instead, you're grounded in the present moment, and you start the day with a mindset of contentment. In fact, research has shown that practicing gratitude has numerous benefits. It can reduce stress, improve your mood, boost your physical health, and even increase your sense of well-being. And while the Stoics didn't have scientific studies to back them up, they understood that gratitude is a tool for building inner peace. Take the time to acknowledge the small things in your life that bring you joy. Maybe it's the cup of coffee you enjoy every morning, the feeling of the sun on your face, or the laugh of a loved one. When you begin to actively appreciate the simple moments, you'll notice a profound shift in your perspective. You'll feel more at peace and more content with the life you have, rather than constantly seeking something you think you lack. Gratitude is also a powerful antidote to entitlement. In a world that constantly tells us to strive for more, we often fall into the trap of feeling like we deserve more than what we have. But the Stoics would argue that this sense of entitlement only leads to frustration and unhappiness. By focusing on what we already have, we can cultivate a sense of humility and satisfaction. Consider the famous philosopher Epictetus, who was once a slave, enduring great hardship in his life. Yet despite his circumstances, Epictetus practiced gratitude. He understood that, no matter what external conditions he faced, he always had the power to choose his attitude and be grateful for the inner peace he could cultivate. You don't need to be a philosopher to practice gratitude. It's something that anyone can do, regardless of where they are in life. You don't have to wait for life to be perfect before you start practicing gratitude. In fact, the Stoics believe that it's in the tough times that gratitude becomes most important. When life feels challenging, that's the time to dig deep and find something to be grateful for. Maybe it's the opportunity to learn, the strength you've gained through adversity, or the lessons you've learned from your struggles. Even in hardship, there's always something to be thankful for. So every day, start with gratitude. Let it be the foundation of your mindset. By practicing gratitude, you'll find that the world around you seems more abundant and your life feels more fulfilling. 14. Embrace the power of slowness. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the rush. We're constantly on the go, checking our phones, racing through tasks, and always thinking about the next thing. But the Stoics believed in the power of slowness, in taking the time to really experience each moment rather than rushing through it. Slow down, take a deep breath, and live with intention. The Stoics emphasize the importance of living deliberately rather than reacting impulsively to the world around you. Seneca, in his writings, talked about the value of being present in everything you do, whether it's eating, working, or even talking to someone. He warned against rushing through life because the speed with which we go often leaves us missing what truly matters. Think about how often you're in a rush, even when there's no need to be. How many times do you find yourself thinking about the next thing on your to-do list while you're still in the middle of something else? How often do you rush through meals or check your phone while having a conversation with a friend or loved one? The Stoics would suggest that this lack of presence is a form of mindlessness, and it robs us of the true richness of life. If we want to be more connected with our lives, we need to slow down and take time to engage fully with the present. There's power in slowing down. When you slow down, you give yourself the space to appreciate the small details of life. You notice the way the sun filters through the trees, the sound of rain on the roof, the taste of your favorite food, or the way someone's eyes light up when they talk about something they love. You begin to see beauty in the simple things that often go unnoticed. But slow living isn't just about savoring moments. It's also about intentionality, making deliberate choices about how you spend your time and energy. Are you spending your days doing things that truly align with your values? Or are you simply going through the motions? When you embrace slowness, you also give yourself the chance to reflect. You create time for introspection, where you can ask yourself important questions like, what do I really want in life? What do I value most? Am I living authentically, or am I just following the crowd? These moments of reflection can help you make more conscious decisions about your life. When you slow down, you're not just rushing to get to the next thing. You're taking time to appreciate the process, to learn, to grow, and to connect with your deeper self. Now, let's not forget the role of patience in this process. Slowness isn't about rushing to achieve a certain state. It's about enjoying the journey. The Stoics believed that patience was a virtue because it allowed us to embrace the present moment without needing everything to be perfect or happening right now. In a society that glorifies speed, practicing slowness can feel countercultural. But when you adopt the Stoic mindset, you begin to understand that there's no need to hurry. Life isn't a race, it's a journey. And it's the moments we experience along the way that make the journey worth living. 15. Live with courage and grit. Every day presents us with opportunities to demonstrate courage, whether it's the courage to stand up for what's right, to face our fears, or simply to keep going when life gets tough. The Stoics knew that to live a meaningful life, we must be willing to embrace difficulty and face challenges head-on. Courage isn't just about heroic acts or grand gestures. It's about showing up every single day, even when it feels like the odds are stacked against you. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, often reflected on the nature of adversity in his personal writings. He understood that hardship was an inevitable part of life. Rather than trying to avoid it, he saw every challenge as an opportunity to practice virtue and strengthen his character. In fact, Marcus argued that struggles weren't something to be feared. They were, in his view, one of the best ways to grow. Why? Because facing difficulty forces us to confront our fears, develop resilience, and ultimately become better versions of ourselves. Grit, too, plays an essential role in living with courage. Grit is the determination to keep going, to persist even when the road is long and the rewards seem distant. It's about having the mental fortitude to continue despite obstacles. Take a moment to think about your own life. What challenges have you faced that required you to dig deep, to find the strength to continue? Maybe it was a personal loss, a career setback, or a health issue. Whatever it was, those moments when you had to fight through the storm were the moments that helped shape you into the person you are today. The Stoics would encourage you to view those difficult moments as training grounds for your character. They would ask, what can you learn from each hardship you face? Instead of seeing challenges as burdens, they saw them as opportunities to practice patience, resilience, and courage. Living with courage doesn't always mean charging into battle with swords drawn or embarking on dramatic quests. Sometimes it simply means doing the hard thing when no one is watching. It means sticking to your principles when it's easier to compromise. It means choosing to be calm when the world around you is chaos. It's the quiet strength to keep moving forward, even when you're exhausted or discouraged. And just as courage is not only about big gestures, grit isn't always about working yourself into the ground. It's about consistency, the ability to show up day after day, even when the rewards aren't immediately visible. True grit is found in the small wins, the moments when you choose to keep pushing, even when success seems far away. When you adopt a Stoic mindset, you start to see every obstacle not as something that will break you, but as something that can build you. Each struggle, each setback, becomes an opportunity to practice fortitude, to show that no matter what comes your way, you have the strength to endure and grow. 16. Embrace impermanence. One of the fundamental teachings of Stoicism is the acceptance of impermanence, that everything in life is temporary, including both our joys and our sorrows. The Stoics understood that change is inevitable, and to resist it only leads to frustration and suffering. By accepting the fleeting nature of life, we free ourselves from the grip of attachment and develop a deeper appreciation for the present moment. Consider the nature of the seasons. Spring gives way to summer, which turns into fall, and then winter arrives. Each season has its own beauty, yet it cannot last forever. By embracing change as a natural and necessary part of life, we learn to appreciate the present while remaining open to what lies ahead. In his famous work, Meditations, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Everything we see will soon pass, and the eternal cycle of life will continue, indifferent to our individual desires." These words remind us that nothing in life is permanent. Our successes, our failures, our relationships, and even our very lives are temporary. While this truth might seem daunting at first, it also offers us the freedom to live more fully. When we accept that we won't always have this moment, we start to appreciate it for what it is, precious and unique. Instead of clinging to things, we learn to let go. We learn that true peace comes not from holding on tightly to what we love, but from being willing to release it when the time comes. Impermanence also teaches us that pain is not forever. When we're in the midst of hardship or suffering, it's easy to feel like the pain will never end. But Stoicism teaches us that just as joy is fleeting, so too is sorrow. Everything passes. And through this wisdom, we develop a kind of peace, knowing that the difficult moments won't last forever. Imagine standing at the edge of the ocean. You see the waves crash against the shore, one after another. Each wave rises, crashes, and then fades into the vast sea. Just like those waves, our lives are constantly in flux, ever-changing and always moving forward. The key is to embrace that change, knowing that each wave brings something new and valuable. This acceptance of impermanence is not about being detached or indifferent. Rather, it is a reminder to appreciate the present moment fully, without the need to hold on to it forever. By understanding the temporary nature of everything, we learn to cherish what we have, without the fear of loss. In every aspect of life, from our work to our relationships, we can practice this principle. When you let go of the need to control everything and allow life to unfold naturally, you find a sense of peace and freedom. The Stoics didn't try to stop change. They embraced it and allowed it to flow through them. The true power lies in knowing that no matter what happens, whether success or failure, joy or sorrow, the moment we're experiencing is precious because it will not last forever. This understanding allows us to live with greater clarity and contentment, appreciating each moment for what it is and allowing it to pass when its time has come. 17. Act with purpose. Each morning, we are given a fresh opportunity to take control of the direction of our day. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of acting with purpose, living intentionally rather than being swept away by the currents of life. When you wake up each morning, ask yourself, what is the most meaningful thing I can do today? This question helps you focus your mind on what truly matters, pushing aside distractions that only serve to waste your precious time. Many of us go through the motions, getting caught up in the chaos of daily life. We check our phones, rush through our tasks, and move from one thing to the next without stopping to consider if we are truly spending our time wisely. But by acting with purpose, we align our actions with our deepest values and goals. Let's imagine you wake up one morning with a clear vision of what you want to accomplish. You don't let distractions or small annoyances pull you off course. Instead, every action, every choice is made with a sense of intention and clarity. You move with purpose, knowing that you are not just completing tasks, but actively building the life you want to lead. Purpose can be something as small as making a thoughtful gesture for someone, or it can be as large as pursuing your life's work. But the key is to approach every task with a clear sense of why you're doing it. It's not about being busy, it's about being meaningful. And when you live each day with this sense of intention, you start to notice that your life begins to have a deeper meaning. Each action you take is not just for the sake of passing time, but for the purpose of creating a life that is aligned with your values. The great Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This is the essence of acting with purpose. When you take charge of your thoughts, your actions, and your time, you become the master of your own life. Let's look at the example of a person who wakes up each day with a sense of purpose. They don't rush through the morning. They take time to reflect on their goals. They ask themselves, what can I do today to bring me closer to my dream? This focus gives them the clarity to make decisions that move them toward their desired future, instead of letting life happen to them. When you begin each day with purpose, your actions gain weight and significance. You stop being a passive observer of your life and instead take the driver's seat. Every choice you make, whether big or small, becomes an opportunity to build a life you are proud of. Remember, life isn't about accumulating more things, more tasks, or more experiences. It's about purposeful action, living in alignment with your values, striving toward your dreams, and focusing your energy on what truly matters. By acting with purpose, you ensure that every moment is one that counts. 18. Deal with failure gracefully. No one is immune to failure. It's a part of life. And the Stoics had a profound understanding of this. They believed that the way we respond to failure is what truly matters, not the failure itself. When you fail, as we all inevitably do, the key is to handle it with grace, to learn from it, and to keep moving forward with greater wisdom. It's easy to feel defeated when things don't go as planned. We may feel embarrassed, frustrated, or even angry at ourselves. But the Stoic view on a failure is that it is not something to be feared or avoided, but rather an opportunity to grow. Failure is simply a lesson, a chance to correct course and become better for the next challenge. Failure can often teach us more than success. When we succeed, we might bask in the glory of our achievement, but when we fail, we are forced to reflect, learn, and improve. That reflection is where the true growth happens. The key is to avoid getting caught up in the emotions of failure. When we get angry or frustrated, we lose sight of the lesson the experience is teaching us. Instead, we must take a step back, breathe, and think, what can I learn from this? One of the most famous Stoic quotes on failure comes from Epictetus, who said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is a powerful reminder that while we cannot control the events of our lives, we can control how we respond to them. When faced with failure, it's important to detach from the emotions tied to it. You might feel disappointed or sad, and that's okay, but don't let those feelings dictate your actions. Instead, use that emotional energy to reflect and learn. Consider the story of a writer who faced countless rejections. She poured her heart into her work, only to be told time and time again that her writing was not good enough. Most people would have quit at that point, but she didn't. She used each rejection as fuel to improve her writing. With each no, she got better, and eventually her work found a home. This persistence and grace in the face of failure is a true example of Stoic resilience. Failure doesn't define you. How you respond to failure defines who you are. If you can handle failure with calmness, reflection, and growth, you'll find that you become stronger and more capable in the face of life's challenges. So the next time you fail, whether it's in your career, your relationships, or your personal goals, remember that failure is not the end. It's just another step on the path to success. Embrace it with grace, learn from it, and move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. 19. Cultivate a mindset of gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices we can cultivate in our daily lives. It shifts our focus from what's missing to what we already have. In a world that constantly tells us to want more, gratitude reminds us of the abundance that exists in the present moment. Each morning, take a moment to pause and reflect on what you're grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything grand or monumental. Sometimes it's the simplest things that matter most. Maybe it's the warmth of the sun as it rises, the aroma of your morning coffee, or the sound of a loved one's voice. These moments, though small, are gifts that we oft overlook in the rush of life. But when we take time to notice them, we begin to see that life is full of blessings. Gratitude has a unique power to shift our perception. When we choose to focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we begin to feel a sense of peace. This sense of peace grounds us in the present and helps us avoid the trap of always chasing the next thing. Gratitude teaches us to find contentment no matter where we are in our journey. One of the best ways to practice gratitude is through a morning ritual. Before you start your day, take a few minutes to reflect on the good things in your life. Think about the relationships that bring you joy, the opportunities that have come your way, and the simple pleasures you often take for granted. When you begin your day with gratitude, it sets the tone for the rest of your day. You start from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. The Stoic philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, often reflected on the importance of gratitude. In his personal writings, he frequently reminded himself to be thankful for the people around him, the challenges he faced, and the opportunities for growth that each day presented. He understood that gratitude isn't just about acknowledging the good. It's about seeing the value in everything, even in the difficulties. Gratitude also helps us to reframe our struggles. Instead of viewing challenges as obstacles, we can see them as opportunities to grow. For instance, if you face a difficult situation at work, instead of complaining, you can ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? By adopting this mindset, you start to see challenges as a necessary part of the process, and even the most difficult days become an important part of your journey. There's a powerful quote by the Stoic philosopher Epictetus that says, "He is a wise man who does not regret the past, nor fear the future, but accepts both with gratitude." This quote encapsulates the essence of gratitude, accepting the present moment as it is and being thankful for whatever it brings. One beautiful example of this is the practice of keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be simple, like a delicious meal, or profound, like the love of your family. Over time, you'll begin to notice that your focus shifts. Instead of noticing what's wrong or missing in your life, you'll start to see all the good that surrounds you. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It simply means choosing to focus on the positive, even in the midst of difficult times. By doing so, you become more resilient, more at peace, and more content with your life. So each morning, make it a habit to find something to be grateful for. It will transform the way you experience the day and help you build a more fulfilled life. 20. Practice mindfulness. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get lost in a whirlwind of thoughts, tasks, and distractions. We often find ourselves rushing from one thing to the next, with our minds constantly moving ahead to the next task or event. But what if we could slow down and be more present? This is where the practice of mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present in the moment, without judgment. It's about paying attention to your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings with awareness, without getting lost in them. When you practice mindfulness, you become aware of the present moment in a deeper, more meaningful way. You stop rushing through life and start experiencing it more fully. Each morning, set aside a few minutes to practice mindfulness. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and take a few deep breaths. Focus on your breath. Feel the air as it enters and exits your body. Notice the sensations in your body, the thoughts that come and go, and the sounds around you. Don't try to control or change anything. Just observe. This practice helps you cultivate awareness, and by doing so, it helps you become less reactive to the ups and downs of life. When you are mindful, you can respond to situations with clarity and calmness, rather than being swept away by emotions or external circumstances. Mindfulness also helps you gain insight into your thoughts and behaviors. By becoming more aware of your mental patterns, you can identify negative habits or limiting beliefs that may be holding you back. Once you recognize these patterns, you can work to change them, making more empowered choices in your life. One of the key principles of mindfulness is to accept things as they are, without judgment. We often judge ourselves harshly, thinking we should be different or do more. But mindfulness teaches us to accept ourselves just as we are, embracing our strengths and weaknesses without trying to change them. The Stoic philosophers, especially Epictetus, believed in the importance of being present in the moment. He wrote, "Don't be anxious about the future. Focus on what you can control today." This perfectly captures the essence of mindfulness. Control what you can and let go of the rest. By practicing mindfulness each morning, you set the tone for a more present, peaceful day. Instead of being overwhelmed by the endless tasks ahead, you begin to approach each moment with a sense of peace and clarity. Mindfulness helps you slow down, live more intentionally, and make choices that align with your values. When you cultivate mindfulness, you begin to notice the beauty in the everyday moments that once went unnoticed. So take a few minutes every morning to practice mindfulness. It will help you build a stronger connection to yourself and the world around you, making every day more meaningful. 21. Embrace impermanence. Life is constantly changing. The world around us, our circumstances, and even we ourselves are constantly in flux. Yet as humans, we often resist change. We cling to what we know, to what feels comfortable, and we try to hold on to things that are fleeting. The truth is, impermanence is one of the most fundamental aspects of life. Everything, our relationships, our successes, our failures, will eventually change or come to an end. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, understood this deeply. They didn't view change as something to fear, but as a natural part of life to be embraced. Each morning, reflect on the fact that everything in life is impermanent. This doesn't mean we should live with a sense of doom or negativity. Rather, it's a call to appreciate the present moment, knowing that it will not last forever. When we recognize that life is fleeting, we stop taking things for granted. We begin to cherish what we have and focus on what truly matters. This practice of accepting impermanence is especially important when dealing with loss or difficult times. When we lose something we care about, a job, a relationship, or even a loved one, we often feel like we're being robbed of something important. But when we understand that change is inevitable, we can view loss not as something unjust, but as a natural part of life's rhythm. The impermanence of life can also be a source of freedom. When we let go of the idea that things should stay the same forever, we free ourselves from the burden of attachment. We stop holding on to the past, and we start to live more fully in the present, appreciating what we have while we have it. One of the most powerful ways to embrace impermanence is by practicing non-attachment. This doesn't mean we should detach from life or the people around us, but rather that we should not cling to things out of fear. When we stop attaching our happiness to external circumstances, we can experience life more deeply and authentically. We learn to accept that everything has its time and nothing lasts forever. There's a beautiful lesson to be learned from nature. The changing seasons remind us of the ebb and flow of life. Winter eventually gives way to spring, and spring to summer. Each season has its purpose, and each moment, no matter how fleeting, is valuable in its own right. In the same way, we must learn to embrace the changes in our own lives, trusting that they are leading us toward growth. By reflecting on impermanence each morning, we prepare ourselves to face the uncertainties of life with grace. We accept that nothing is permanent, and in doing so, we stop resisting the inevitable. Instead, we flow with life, adapting to its changes and learning from them. Remember, change is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It's what makes life vibrant, exciting, and full of possibilities. 22. Focus on what you can control. In life, there are so many things that are outside of our control. The weather, other people's actions, and even the course of events in the world. All of these are beyond our influence. But the Stoics believed in a powerful principle. Focus on what you can control. Each morning, before you dive into the day's challenges, take a moment to assess what is within your control. What can you do today that aligns with your values and goals? What actions can you take that will move you closer to the life you want to build? One of the key tenets of Stoic philosophy is that we cannot control external events, but we can always control our responses to them. This is where your power lies. If you encounter a challenge at work, for example, you can't control the actions of others, but you can control how you respond to the situation. Will you respond with patience and wisdom, or will you react impulsively? By focusing on what you can control, you empower yourself to make choices that reflect your best self. Instead of being a passive victim of life's circumstances, you become an active participant in shaping your reality. The Stoics also believed in focusing on inner virtues like self-control, kindness, and courage. These are qualities that are always within our control. No matter what's happening around us, we can choose to cultivate these virtues and bring them to every situation we face. Think about the moments when you felt powerless or frustrated. Often it's because we've been focused on things we cannot change. By shifting our attention to what we can control, we free ourselves from the grip of helplessness. We begin to realize that we have the power to make a difference in our own lives. No matter what's happening in the world around us, there's a powerful quote by Epictetus that sums up this principle. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Each morning, remind yourself of this truth. Focus on the actions you can take today and let go of the rest. When you do this, you'll feel a sense of peace and empowerment, knowing that you are focusing on what truly matters. 23. Nurture your body and mind. A healthy body supports a healthy mind, and a healthy mind supports a healthy body. To live a full and meaningful life, it's essential to care for both. The Stoics believed that well-being wasn't just about intellectual or spiritual growth, but also about maintaining a balanced, healthy life. Each morning, take a few moments to check in with your body. How are you feeling physically? What does your body need to feel nourished and strong? By paying attention to your body's needs, you lay the foundation for a productive, fulfilling day. Exercise is one of the most important practices you can include in your morning routine. Whether it's a short walk, a few yoga stretches, or a full workout, moving your body releases stress and boosts your energy. It also sharpens your mental clarity, helping you approach the day with focused attention. But just as it's vital to care for your body, it's equally important to nourish your mind. The mind easily becomes cluttered with distractions, worries, and negative thoughts. That's why taking time each morning for mental clarity is essential. Whether through meditation, journaling, or sitting in silence, give your mind the stillness it needs. The Stoics practiced mental discipline. They focused on thoughts aligned with their values and let go of anything that didn't serve them. A disciplined mind, they believed, was the key to inner peace and wisdom. So each morning, commit to nurturing both your body and your mind. Feed your body with movement and nutrition. Feed your mind with calm, focused intention. Together, they create a strong foundation for a meaningful and successful life. 24. Practice gratitude. Gratitude has the power to transform how we experience the world. It shifts our focus from what's missing to what's already here. In every moment, we get to choose abundance or scarcity, blessings or burdens. Each morning, take a moment to reflect on what you're grateful for. This simple practice can reshape your entire day. When you intentionally recognize the good in your life, your mind becomes trained to find light, even in darkness. The Stoics, while not using the word gratitude the way we do, practiced contentment. They knew happiness didn't come from outside circumstances. It came from within. By accepting life as it is and appreciating the present moment, they found peace. Take a breath and ask yourself, what in my life is a gift? Is it your relationships, your health, a chance to begin again today? Maybe it's the sun on your skin or the birdsong outside your window. Gratitude doesn't live only in grand gestures. It thrives in the small things. The first sip of coffee, a quiet sunrise, a smile from someone you love. These moments, when noticed and honored, become the foundation for deep joy. One powerful habit is keeping a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be big, just true. Over time, your awareness shifts. You start to see how much beauty is already woven into your life. Gratitude changes your perspective from lack to abundance. As you make it a daily practice, you'll find more and more reasons to be grateful. By focusing on what matters each morning, you invite joy, peace, and contentment into your life. Gratitude is the gentle reminder that we already have more than we think. 25. Set intentions. Every day is a new opportunity to shape your life. While you can't control everything that happens, you can control how you respond. That's where intentions come in. Intentions are your inner compass. They guide your choices, your attitude, and your energy, even in the middle of chaos. Each morning, before the world rushes in, pause and ask, what do I want to focus on today? How do I want to show up? Do you want to practice patience? Speak with kindness? Move through your day with purpose? Intentions aren't rigid rules. They're a mindset, a reminder, a quiet decision about the kind of person you choose to be. The Stoics didn't chase outcomes. They focused on virtue. Instead of saying, I want to succeed, they said, I want to act with courage, with honesty, with wisdom. Their goals weren't tied to results, but to values. That's the power of intention. Even if the day throws you off course, you can return to that inner direction. No matter what happens, you get to decide how to respond. This simple morning habit grounds you. It keeps you connected to what truly matters, not just what's urgent. So tomorrow morning, breathe deeply, center yourself, and ask, what's my intention today? How do I want to move through the world? With intention, you live with purpose, not by accident, but by design. 26. Give back to others. Real fulfillment isn't found in what we get, it's found in what we give. The Stoics believed we are here to serve others, and in that service, we discover deeper meaning. Each morning, take a moment to ask, how can I give today? Not just with money or things, but with presence, with kindness, with care. Giving doesn't have to be grand. It might be a kind word, a listening ear, a small act that makes someone's day a little lighter. The Stoics reminded us we're not alone. We're part of a greater whole, and when we contribute to that whole, when we lift others, we lift ourselves too. Sometimes the greatest gift is time. In a world that moves so fast, choosing to slow down and be there for someone, that's powerful. Whether it's helping a friend, volunteering, or just being fully present with the people around you, giving time is giving love. And when you give, something beautiful happens. You start to feel abundant. You realize there is enough. You don't need to cling tightly. You can open up and trust the flow. So each morning, reflect on this. What can I offer today? How can I make someone's life better, even in a small way? Because when giving becomes part of your daily rhythm, you discover something unexpected. You're the one who grows the most. 27. Embrace failure. Failure. We fear it. We hide from it. We think it means we're not enough. But the Stoics saw failure differently. To them, failure was not defeat. It was feedback. It was a teacher. Each morning, remind yourself, failure is part of the path. It's not the enemy, it's the lesson. You'll make mistakes. You'll stumble. You'll try something and fall short. That's okay. That's necessary. Because every failure brings you closer to mastery. If you choose to learn from it, the Stoics didn't pretend failure didn't hurt, but they refused to be defined by it. They used it to grow stronger, wiser, more resilient. So ask yourself, what have I learned from my failures? How have they shaped me? What will I do differently next time? The truth is, failure only wins if you quit. But if you get back up, if you keep going, you've already succeeded. Because progress isn't perfect, it's messy, and it's real. The Stoics taught that our greatest strength lies in how we respond, not just to success, but to setbacks. So when failure comes, welcome it, study it, and let it sharpen you. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the path to it. 28. Practice self-discipline. Self-discipline is the cornerstone of personal freedom. It might sound like a contradiction, but the more disciplined you are, the more control you have over your life. Why? Because when you master your impulses, your emotions, your cravings, your distractions, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters. Each morning, commit to practicing self-discipline. Maybe that means sticking to your morning routine, resisting distractions, or saying no when it's easier to say yes. Discipline isn't about punishment, it's about alignment. Making choices that reflect your highest values, not your momentary urges. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed true happiness comes from within, and that inner peace can only be sustained by governing your own mind and actions. If you're constantly led by outside forces, you're never truly free. So ask yourself, where do you struggle with self-control? Is it your habits, your time, your relationships? Wherever the challenge is, know this: discipline is a muscle, and you build it by using it. Start small. One promise to yourself, one goal you commit to daily. As you follow through, your confidence grows, and with it, your freedom. And remember, self-discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, trying again, and making progress. Every time you choose discipline, you choose your future. 29. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present, right here, right now, without judgment. In today's world, it's easy to be everywhere except the present moment. We're buried in notifications, lost in thoughts, chasing what's next. But peace lives in the now. Each morning, take time to ground yourself. That might mean sitting quietly, focusing on your breath, or simply noticing the way your body feels. It's not about escaping reality, it's about fully entering it. When you're mindful, you stop reacting and start observing. You become less controlled by your thoughts and more aware of what's actually happening. The Stoics taught that our judgments, not our circumstances, cause most of our suffering. Mindfulness lets you see clearly. It creates space between you and your thoughts, your impulses, your emotions. That space is where wisdom lives. Through mindfulness, you begin to savor the present, a warm breeze, a deep breath, the stillness of the morning. You engage with life more deeply and stress starts to lose its grip. So begin your day with awareness. Breathe in, feel the ground beneath you. Listen, look, be here. And as the day unfolds, gently return to that presence, again and again. Mindfulness isn't about perfection, it's about practice. And through that practice, you begin to reclaim your peace. 30. Reflect and journal. Reflection is how we learn. Growth doesn't come just from experience. It comes from examined experience. And journaling is one of the most powerful ways to reflect. Each morning, take a few minutes to write. What happened yesterday? What did you learn? What are you feeling? Where do you want to go from here? This isn't about writing a novel. It's about clarity, processing your emotions, spotting patterns, reinforcing your intentions. The Stoics were relentless journalers. Their wisdom came from asking themselves tough questions and writing down honest answers. Their journals weren't for show, they were for self-mastery, and yours can be too. When you journal, you start to see yourself more clearly. You recognize where you've grown, where you're stuck, and where you need to course correct. Over time, your journal becomes a map, a record of your evolution. Start small, one reflection, one lesson, one thing you're grateful for. Don't worry about sounding wise, just be honest. From that honesty, wisdom will grow. Journaling helps you live intentionally. It centers your mind and aligns you with what really matters. So grab your pen. Start the day by listening to yourself and watch how your life begins to change, one word at a time. 31. Foster gratitude. Gratitude is the foundation of a peaceful and fulfilled life. In the rush of our busy lives, it's easy to overlook the simple blessings we have, often taking them for granted. But gratitude is one of the most powerful practices you can cultivate, and it begins with a simple mindset shift, choosing to focus on what you have rather than what you lack. Each morning, take a moment to practice gratitude. This could be as simple as acknowledging the gift of waking up to a new day or appreciating the small things in life that often go unnoticed, like the warmth of your bed, the taste of your morning coffee, or the beauty of the sunrise. Gratitude opens your heart and mind, allowing you to approach each day with a sense of contentment and peace. The Stoics understood the importance of gratitude. They believed that by acknowledging and appreciating what we already have, we can free ourselves from the endless cycle of desire and want. Rather than focusing on what we don't have, we learn to embrace what's already around us and see it for the gift that it is. When you practice gratitude, you shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance. You begin to see the richness in your life, even in the most ordinary moments. And this shift in perspective brings profound inner peace, helping you to remain calm in the face of challenges. Start your morning by listing a few things you're grateful for. It doesn't matter how big or small, what matters is that you take the time to acknowledge the blessings in your life. As you continue to make gratitude a regular part of your routine, you will notice a change in your mood and outlook, and your overall sense of happiness will grow. 32. Cultivate patience. In a world that thrives on speed and instant gratification, patience has become an underrated superpower. We want quick fixes, rapid results, and immediate answers. But the truth is, anything meaningful takes time. Real growth, deep transformation, lasting success, none of it happens overnight. Each morning, remind yourself, patience is a practice. It's something you build, not something you're born with. The Stoics knew this. They understood that impatience only adds suffering. When things aren't going your way, pause, breathe. Remember that the timeline isn't always in your control, but your mindset is. Patience teaches you to trust the process. Those small, consistent steps lead to big, permanent change. In your career, in your relationships, in your personal journey, slow progress is still progress. Ask yourself, where do you lose your patience? When results don't show up fast enough? When plans fall apart? That's where your work lies. Choose to stay calm when things move slowly. Choose to keep going when the rewards aren't immediate. When you cultivate patience, you give yourself room to grow. You give others grace. And you begin to see that the journey itself is where the beauty lives, not just the outcome. 3. Develop emotional resilience. Life will test you. It will knock you down, catch you off guard, and throw storms in your path. But how you respond, that's where your power is. Emotional resilience is about facing difficulty without breaking. It's about bending, not shattering. Each morning, set an intention to strengthen your emotional core. That might mean pausing before reacting, sitting with discomfort instead of escaping it, letting your emotions inform you, not control you. The Stoics were masters at this. They didn't ignore emotion, they observed it. They used it as a mirror to understand themselves. Resilience isn't about pretending everything's fine, it's about acknowledging pain without being consumed by it. Start with awareness. What emotions are you feeling today? What's underneath them? When challenges hit, ask, what can I choose right now? Because that's always in your hands. Over time, with practice, you'll get stronger. Each setback becomes a chance to build emotional muscle. You'll become less reactive, more grounded. And even when life feels heavy, your inner peace won't be shaken. The Stoics lived through wars, exile, betrayal, and still they chose clarity over chaos. You can too. You can learn to weather any storm without losing yourself in it. That is emotional resilience. That is true strength. 34. Practice compassion. In a world that can feel cold, rushed, and disconnected, compassion is a radical act. It's not weakness. It's not softness. It's strength. The ability to see another person, to understand their pain, to offer kindness even when it's hard. Each morning, choose compassion for the people around you, for the strangers you pass, for the ones who challenge you, even for yourself. Compassion means recognizing our shared humanity. We all struggle, we all fall short, and when you lead with empathy instead of judgment, you create space for connection. The Stoics believe that we're all parts of a greater whole, that by caring for others, we care for ourselves. Compassion doesn't mean you accept bad behavior, but it means you respond with understanding, not hostility. You speak with respect, not cruelty. You stay rooted in love even when it's difficult. And when you do that, something amazing happens. Your own heart softens. Your own peace deepens. Because the more compassion you give, the more you carry within you. It ripples out. It changes lives, including your own. 35. Embrace failure. Failure isn't the end. It's the beginning. It's the page where wisdom starts. And yet so many people run from it, hide it, feel ashamed of it. But the Stoics saw it differently. They welcomed failure, not because they liked it, but because they knew it taught them. Each morning, remind yourself, failure is not your enemy. It's your teacher. When something doesn't work out, when a door closes, when you fall short, that's not a dead end. That's feedback. That's data. That's life saying, not this way, try again, grow. Don't take failure personally. Take it seriously. Learn from it. Ask, what didn't work? What can I do better next time? The truth is, failure builds resilience. It humbles you, refines you, sharpens your focus. The Stoics didn't crumble when things went wrong. They reflected, they adapted, and they came back stronger. You can do the same. When you stop fearing failure, it stops controlling you. You become unstoppable. You begin to move forward with courage, knowing that missteps are part of mastery. Embrace every stumble as a lesson. Let it refine, not define you. Because failure doesn't mean you're losing, it means you're learning. 36. Find purpose in service. There's a kind of fulfillment that no paycheck, promotion, or applause can give you. It comes from service, from giving. The Stoics didn't chase status or selfish gain. They believed life's highest purpose was found in serving others. And they were right. Each morning ask yourself, who can I help today? Sometimes it's small, holding space for someone's pain, offering a kind word, being fully present. Other times it's a bigger commitment, your time, your skills, your energy. But in every act of service, no matter the size, you reconnect with what truly matters. Because service pulls you out of your own ego. It quiets your internal noise. It reminds you that you're part of something bigger than yourself. The Stoics saw service not just as duty, but as a doorway to peace. When you give without expectation, when you uplift without seeking praise, your own life becomes lighter. Your struggles feel smaller. Your sense of meaning grows deeper. And the more you serve, the more you realize you don't have to save the world to make a difference. One act of kindness at a time is enough. Let that be your compass. Let it guide you. And you'll find that purpose was never something to chase. It was something to live. 37. Embrace simplicity. The world is loud, overwhelming, constantly trying to sell you more. More things, more goals, more distractions. But the Stoics knew a secret. Peace lives in simplicity. Every morning, take a moment to strip away the noise. Ask yourself, what can I let go of today? Maybe it's clutter in your space. Maybe it's a mental loop that serves no purpose. Maybe it's a task that doesn't align with your values. Simplicity is about clearing space in your home, in your schedule, in your mind. Not to have less for the sake of less, but to make room for what truly matters. When your life is simple, your focus sharpens. You start noticing what brings you peace, what fuels your spirit, what deserves your attention. The Stoics didn't own much, not because they were poor, but because they knew that chasing more often leads to emptiness. Instead, they focused on character, discipline, and purpose. That's where they found fulfillment. When you live simply, you gain clarity. You stop being pulled in every direction. You start living with intention. And suddenly, even the smallest moments feel full. The quiet mornings, the warm light, the time you actually enjoy. Simplicity doesn't strip life down, it elevates it. So start today. Let go of one thing that's weighing you down. Create space, and in that space, let something meaningful grow. 38. Practice mindfulness. Most people sleepwalk through their lives, rushing, reacting, distracted, lost in thoughts of the past or fears of the future. But the Stoics taught a better way. Presence. Being here. Fully. Mindfulness is not just about meditation, it's about how you live. Every morning, ground yourself. Sit quietly, breathe deeply, pay attention to your senses, feel the air, hear the silence, be where your feet are. This simple act shifts everything. You stop chasing moments and start experiencing them. You become less reactive, more intentional, less anxious, more aware. The Stoics believe we suffer not from events themselves, but from our judgments about them. Mindfulness breaks that chain. It helps you see clearly. When your mind is present, you're no longer held hostage by your thoughts. You create space between stimulus and response. You begin to choose, rather than react. And in that space, there's peace. There's power. Start small. One mindful breath before you speak. One mindful pause before you act. One mindful moment to feel the life you're in. Over time, these moments expand. They become your foundation, and you realize you don't need to escape your life to feel peace. You just need to be in it, completely. 39. Practice gratitude. The world constantly whispers more. More success, more stuff, more status. But the Stoics knew that fulfillment doesn't come from more. It comes from awareness of what already is. Gratitude isn't a luxury, it's a discipline, a mindset, a lens through which life becomes enough. Each morning, pause, breathe, ask yourself, what am I thankful for right now? Not in the future, not when everything is perfect. Now maybe it's your health, a friend's laugh, a moment of silence before the noise begins. These small things, they are the essence of life. The Stoics gave thanks not just for comforts, but for clarity, character, and the chance to live another day with purpose. They understood that when you focus on what you have, instead of what you lack, your perspective shifts, your anxiety softens, your craving for more begins to fade. Gratitude isn't ignoring your problems, it's seeing through them. It's recognizing that even in the middle of difficulty, something beautiful remains. A lesson, a connection, a breath. Start your mornings with a quiet list, mental or written. 3 things, big or small. Let that be your anchor. Let that be your power. Because gratitude doesn't just change your day, it changes you. 40. Cultivate inner peace. Peace isn't found in quiet places, it's found in quiet minds. The Stoics knew that storms will always rage around us. Politics, relationships, ambition, failure. But none of it has to disturb our inner stillness. That's the key. Not the absence of noise, but the ability to remain calm within it. Every morning, return to your breath. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. Settle your thoughts. Feel your center. This is your true home. The world outside may rush and scream, but you don't have to. The Stoics practiced equanimity, a balanced, grounded presence that didn't flinch in the face of chaos. They trained themselves to be steady, not because life was easy, but because they refused to be ruled by it. Inner peace doesn't mean you feel good all the time. It means you are rooted. Even when the winds blow, even when plans fall apart, it means you no longer give your serenity away to things you cannot control. So each morning, set the tone. Choose stillness, not passivity, but power. The power to respond rather than react. The strength to remain whole in a fractured world. When you cultivate inner peace, you stop chasing happiness and begin to embody it. 41. Develop self-control. There will always be temptation to speak without thinking, to act from emotion, to chase pleasure over purpose. But the Stoics taught that freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you want. It comes from mastering what you want. Self-control is the discipline that creates true liberty. Each morning, remind yourself, not everything that feels good is good. Not everything that's easy is right. Self-control is not repression, it's wisdom. It's asking, is this action aligned with who I want to become? Will this bring long-term peace or momentary relief? The Stoics practice this daily. They watch their thoughts. They question their impulses. They chose what served their highest self, even if it was uncomfortable, because they understood that every choice builds character or breaks it. When you develop self-control, you stop being at the mercy of your moods. You become the architect of your actions, the designer of your destiny. This doesn't mean perfection, it means awareness. And that awareness gives you space to choose, to pause, to act from clarity, not compulsion. Start each day by affirming your power to choose wisely. Let your values guide you, not your urges. Over time, you'll see, self-control is not a burden, it's a gift. 42. Embrace the present. We spend so much of life in places we are not, lost in memory or tangled in fear of what's ahead. But the Stoics remind us, the only moment that belongs to you is this one. The present is your reality, not yesterday's regrets, not tomorrow's worries. Just now, right here. Each morning, take a moment. Feel your breath. Feel your body. Look around you. This is your life. Not what might be, not what once was. This. The Stoics taught that presence is power, that when we anchor ourselves in the now, we become steady, clear, awake. The present is where your strength lives, where decisions are made, where joy is possible. It's where your actions matter. And every time you return to it, you loosen the grip of anxiety and regret. So begin your day with awareness. Ground yourself before the rush begins. Let your senses guide you, the sound of the wind, the feel of the floor beneath your feet, the taste of your first sip of water. These are not small things. They are life itself. When you live in the present, you give your attention fully. You speak with sincerity, you listen with care, you move with intention, and suddenly, without trying, you're living fully, right where you are. 43. Speak with purpose. Words are not just sounds. They're energy, they're tools, they're weapons, they're bridges. The Stoics believed that speech should be deliberate, not careless, not empty, not reactive, but purposeful. Every word you speak carries weight. It reveals who you are. It shapes what others believe. Each morning, set a quiet intention. Let me speak only what matters today. This doesn't mean being silent. It means being conscious. The Stoics avoided idle talk and gossip, knowing that such words do nothing but scatter the mind and drain the spirit. Instead, they chose words that uplifted, clarified, connected. Words that reflected thought and virtue. When you speak with purpose, your conversations become sacred. You begin to listen more, interrupt less. You stop filling the silence with noise and instead fill the space with meaning. You also become more aware of how you speak to yourself. Your inner voice becomes a guide, not a critic. Start your day with this. Before you speak, pause. Ask, is this true? Is it necessary? Is it kind? And if it is, then speak. With presence, with power, with purpose. 44. Lead with courage. Courage isn't a roar, it's a whisper that says, go, anyway. Even when you're afraid, even when you're uncertain, even when you don't feel ready. The Stoics held courage as one of the cardinal virtues because without it, the others fall away. Wisdom without courage is never expressed. Justice without courage is never defended. Discipline without courage is never sustained. Each morning, tell yourself this. Today I will act with courage, not recklessness, not bravado, but courage, the strength to do what's right even when it's hard. The Stoics didn't seek danger, but they didn't run from it either. They accepted hardship as a proving ground for virtue. Whether standing up for truth, facing discomfort, or enduring loss, They believe that courage is what makes the soul unshakable. When you lead with courage, you invite others to do the same. You become a lighthouse in the storm, a quiet force, a steady hand. Start your day by naming one thing you fear and then decide to move toward it, not away. Even a small step is an act of bravery, and day by day, those steps become a path. 45. Embrace failure as a lesson. Failure does not mean you've fallen behind. It means you're moving. The Stoics saw failure not as shame, but as an invitation to learn, to grow, to become wiser than before. Each mistake was feedback, each setback, a test of character. Every morning, remind yourself, I will fail, and I will rise. The fear of failure often paralyzes us. It stops us before we begin. But the Stoics teach that the only true failure is failing to try, failing to learn, failing to persist. The outcome is never fully in your control, but your response is, and that's where your power lies. When you embrace failure as part of the process, you remove its sting. You stop attaching your identity to your performance. You see challenges as opportunities, not threats. You begin to trust yourself, not because you always succeed, but because you always grow. Each morning, look back, not with regret, but with curiosity. What did yesterday teach me? What can I do better today? That mindset will carry you further than fear ever will. Because in the end, failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the path to it. 46. Practice the art of letting go. Carry so much. Old wounds, worn-out identities, heavy expectations. But the Stoics knew, freedom begins where attachment ends. The more tightly we cling, the more we suffer. The more we release, the more we rise. Each morning, pause and ask yourself gently, what am I still holding on to? It might be a fear, a resentment, a version of yourself that no longer fits. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means making space. The Stoics practiced detachment not as coldness, but as clarity. They understood that nothing outside of virtue is truly ours. Not possessions, not praise, not control over others. And trying to hold on to what isn't ours, that's where suffering lives. When you let go, you create space for presence, for peace, for power. You begin to breathe again. You stop fighting reality and instead move with it. Letting go is not a one-time act. It's a daily practice, a quiet decision, a loosening. Start your morning by naming one thing, just one, that you can release. A grudge, a fear, an expectation. Then breathe it out. Let it dissolve. What remains is you, lighter, clearer, and more free than before. 47. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is a quiet rebellion against dissatisfaction. It's a reminder that, even in imperfection, life gives us gifts. Always. The Stoics didn't wait for things to go right before being grateful. They practiced gratitude even in hardship, especially in hardship, because gratitude shifts the mind from lack to abundance, from restlessness to contentment. Every morning, take just a moment, sit still, and ask, what do I already have? Maybe it's breath, maybe it's a chance to begin again, maybe it's love. The Stoics believed that joy doesn't come from having more, but from wanting less, from seeing the richness in what's already here. Gratitude opens your eyes. It softens your heart. It reminds you that this day, this moment is not owed to you. It's a gift. And when you receive it with humility, you stop chasing happiness and start discovering it in everything. So begin each day by naming 3 things, big or small, that you're grateful for. Feel them. Let them expand in your chest. And carry that feeling with you like a hidden flame. Steady, quiet, unshakable. 48. Stay mindful of your thoughts. Your mind is the lens through which you experience the world, and that lens can either sharpen your clarity or distort your reality. The Stoics believe that what you think shapes what you see, and what you see shapes who you become. Every morning before the noise of the world creeps in, turn inward. Ask yourself, what thoughts am I waking up with? Are they grounded in strength and purpose, or tangled in fear, doubt, or resentment? The Stoics trained themselves to observe their inner dialogue like a wise guardian. They knew that if they didn't master their thoughts would master them. By becoming aware, we reclaim the power to choose, not just how we act, but how we interpret everything that happens to us. When you stay mindful of your thoughts, you become the calm in the storm. You stop being pulled by every impulse, every irritation, every imagined catastrophe. You respond instead of react. You reflect instead of lash out. You rise above instead of being dragged below. This kind of mental discipline isn't loud, it's not flashy, but it's life-changing. It's how you remain still when everything around you is in motion. It's how you steer your life when the winds are strong. Start your day by checking your thoughts like a captain checks the sky. Are you focused on what you can control? Are your thoughts aligned with who you want to be? If not, adjust your course. Shift from worry to wisdom, from doubt to direction, because you are not your thoughts. You are the one who watches them, and that watcher has the power to choose. 49. Practice temperance. Temperance is the virtue of self-control, moderation, and balance. The Stoics believed that by practicing temperance, we could avoid excess in all areas of our lives, whether it be food, drink, or even our emotional reactions. Temperance is about maintaining harmony within ourselves and resisting the urge to overindulge in things that are fleeting or unhealthy. Every morning, set an intention to practice temperance throughout the day. This means resisting the temptation to overconsume or give into excess. Whether it's eating, drinking, or even indulging in negative emotions, practicing temperance helps you stay grounded and balanced. The Stoics knew that living in moderation leads to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. By avoiding extremes, we maintain control over our desires and impulses, leading to greater mental and physical well-being. Temperance also helps us avoid distractions that pull us away from our true goals and values. When you practice temperance, you find more joy in life's simple pleasures without becoming attached to them. You don't need to indulge in excess to feel content or happy. Instead, you learn to find fulfillment in balance and restraint. This brings a sense of peace and clarity as you are no longer chasing fleeting pleasures or trying to fill a void with excess. Start your day with the intention to practice temperance in all areas of your life. Whether it's through mindful eating, balanced emotions, or resisting unnecessary distractions, temperance will help you stay focused and aligned with your higher purpose. 50. Focus on what you can control. One of the central tenets of Stoic philosophy is the distinction between what is within our control and what is not. The Stoics believe that we should focus only on what we can control, our actions, our thoughts, and our responses, while letting go of concern for things beyond our influence. Every morning, ask yourself, what can I control today? Can I control the actions of others? Number, can I control the weather? Number, but I can control my attitude, my responses, and the way I approach the challenges of the day. By focusing on what you can control, you free yourself from the anxiety and frustration that comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. Instead of worrying about external events, you can channel your energy into the things that truly matter, your actions and mindset. This Stoic practice leads to greater inner peace and a sense of empowerment, as you realize that you have the ability to shape your own experience. Start your day by identifying the things within your control. By focusing on your own thoughts and actions, you free yourself from the mental burden of trying to control everything around you. This practice not only reduces stress, but also helps you stay present and focused on what truly matters. 51. Nurture your relationships. Life is not lived in isolation. It is shaped by our relationships with others. The Stoics understood the importance of maintaining meaningful connections with friends, family, and colleagues. They believed that genuine relationships are built on mutual respect, love, and shared values. Every morning, take a moment to reflect on your relationships. Are you giving your loved ones the attention and care they deserve? Are you present in your interactions, truly listening and engaging with them? The Stoics taught that it's not enough to simply be around people. We must engage with them meaningfully. Nurturing relationships requires patience, empathy, and understanding. It means not only being there in good times, but also supporting others during their struggles. The Stoics practice kindness and compassion, recognizing that helping others and building strong relationships is an integral part of a fulfilling life. By cultivating meaningful relationships, you create a support system that enriches your life and helps you navigate challenges. Having people to share your joys and burdens with makes the journey of life much more rewarding. This principle can be applied to both personal relationships and professional connections. Any relationship built on trust, respect, and understanding will flourish. Start your day by thinking of one person you can reach out to today, whether it's a simple message or a deeper conversation. By prioritizing your relationships, you invest in the well-being of both yourself and others. 52. Be mindful of your actions. Your actions are a direct reflection of your thoughts and beliefs. The Stoics understood that we are constantly shaping our character through our choices and behaviors. What you do each day shapes who you are becoming, and every action is an opportunity to practice virtue and alignment with your values. Every morning ask yourself, how do I want to show up today? What actions will I take that align with my principles and contribute to the greater good? By being mindful of your actions, you ensure that you are living in a way that is intentional and true to your values. Being mindful of your actions means taking responsibility for what you do, regardless of external circumstances. It's about staying true to your values even when faced with temptation or external pressure. Every action you take, no matter how small, adds up and contributes to the person you are becoming. The Stoics believed in acting with integrity and honor, making choices that align with virtue rather than convenience. They practiced mindfulness in their actions, always ensuring that their decisions reflected their core beliefs and aspirations. Start your day with the intention to be mindful of your actions. Throughout the day, pause and reflect on whether your actions align with your values. By practicing mindful action, you create a life that is authentic, purposeful, and fulfilling. 53. Embrace simplicity. In a world filled with distractions and excess, the Stoics valued simplicity. They believed that by simplifying our lives, we can focus on what truly matters and avoid being overwhelmed by the noise of modern life. Simplicity brings clarity, peace, and freedom, allowing us to live with intention and purpose. Every morning, ask yourself, what can I simplify today? Are there unnecessary tasks or distractions that I can eliminate? By embracing simplicity, you free up mental and emotional energy to focus on your goals and values. Simplicity doesn't mean doing less, but doing what matters most. It's about focusing on the essential and letting go of the superficial. By simplifying your environment, your goals, and your mindset, you make room for greater joy, creativity, and fulfillment. The Stoics embraced a minimalist lifestyle, finding contentment in fewer material possessions and focusing on inner growth. Simplicity is a path to mental clarity, as it eliminates distractions and helps you stay focused on your purpose. Start your day by identifying one area of your life where you can embrace simplicity. This could be decluttering your space, eliminating unnecessary tasks, or simplifying your schedule. By making simplicity a daily practice, you create a life that is more focused, peaceful, and aligned with your deepest values. 54. Forgive and let go. Forgiveness is a powerful practice that releases you from the burden of resentment and anger. The Stoics understood that holding on to grudges only harms us, preventing us from moving forward with peace and clarity. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning hurtful actions. It means letting go of the negative emotions that bind you to the past. Every morning, reflect on any unresolved conflicts or grudges you may be holding on to. Is there someone you need to forgive, including yourself? The act of forgiveness is not just for the other person, it's for your own peace and healing. Holding on to anger and resentment only poisons your own well-being. The Stoics believed that we should not let the wrongdoings of others control our emotions. Instead, they encouraged us to forgive and move forward, releasing ourselves from the grip of negativity. Forgiveness frees us to live in the present, unburdened by past grievances, and to focus on what truly matters. Start your day with the intention to forgive, whether it's letting go of past hurts or offering forgiveness to others. Remember, forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself, allowing you to live with greater peace and freedom. 55. Develop the habit of reflection. Reflection is a key practice for growth and self-improvement. The Stoics frequently engage in self-reflection, looking at their actions, thoughts, and emotions to learn from their experiences. Reflection helps us understand what went well, what didn't, and how we can improve moving forward. Every morning, set aside time for reflection. Ask yourself, what did I do yesterday that I can improve today? Reflection isn't about self-criticism. It's about learning from your experiences and using those lessons to become a better version of yourself. The Stoics believe that progress is not about perfection, but about consistent growth. By reflecting on our actions and choices, we gain insights that help us refine our habits and improve our character over time. Reflection allows us to be more intentional and mindful in our approach to life. Start your day with a few minutes of reflection. Think about the choices you made the day before and how they aligned with your values. By practicing daily reflection, you create a habit of self-awareness that leads to continuous personal growth. 56. Practice gratitude. Daily. Gratitude is a powerful tool that can transform your perspective and elevate your life. The Stoics recognize the importance of gratitude as a way to shift our focus from what we lack to what we already have. Every morning, before you step into the busyness of the day, take a moment to appreciate the simple blessings in your life. Gratitude doesn't require grand gestures. It's the small, everyday things that deserve recognition. Whether it's the warmth of the sun on your face, the love of your family, or the ability to simply breathe. These are the things that make life worth living. The Stoics believe that the key to happiness lies in appreciating what is right in front of you, rather than chasing after what you don't have. Start your day with gratitude. Take a few moments to list at least 3 things you're thankful for. This practice shifts your mindset, helping you approach the day with a sense of abundance rather than lack. Gratitude doesn't just improve your mood, it also strengthens your resilience. When you focus on what you have instead of what you're missing, you're better equipped to handle the challenges life throws at you. Gratitude allows you to see the beauty in the present moment and appreciate all the good that surrounds you. By making gratitude a daily habit, you train your mind to focus on the positive, creating a more fulfilling and peaceful life. 57. Take care of your body. A healthy body is the foundation for a healthy mind. The Stoics understood that physical well-being and mental clarity are deeply interconnected. To live fully and meaningfully, we must care for our bodies, nourish them, and keep them strong. Every morning, take a moment to check in with your body. How are you feeling? Are you making time for physical activity and nourishing food? A well-cared-for body enhances our ability to think clearly, act decisively, and maintain emotional stability. The Stoics believed in moderation in all things, including health. Excessive indulgence in food, drink, or rest can dull the mind and cloud judgment. But when we practice discipline in our physical habits, whether that's exercising, eating healthily, or getting enough sleep, we maintain the energy and vitality necessary for a flourishing life. Start your day with some form of physical activity, whether it's a morning stretch, a walk, or a full workout. This not only strengthens your body, but also energizes your mind, setting a positive tone for the rest of your day. Remember, taking care of your body isn't a one-time effort, it's an ongoing practice. By prioritizing your health, you ensure that you have the strength and vitality to pursue your dreams and live your purpose. 58. Practice mindfulness in everything. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in whatever you're doing. The Stoics practiced mindfulness by engaging deeply in each moment, whether they were working, socializing, or simply taking a breath. In a world filled with distractions, mindfulness allows us to stay focused and aligned with our purpose. Every morning, commit to being present in your actions. Whether you're eating breakfast, walking to work, or having a conversation, be fully engaged. Mindfulness doesn't require special rituals or hours of meditation. It's about bringing your attention back to the present moment throughout the day. The Stoics taught that when we engage in life with mindfulness, we avoid getting caught up in worries about the past or future. Instead, we embrace the moment with clarity and intention. By practicing mindfulness, we reduce stress, increase focus, and become more aware of the opportunities around us. Start your day with a mindful practice, perhaps a few minutes of breathing exercises or simply sitting in silence. Then carry that mindfulness with you throughout the day, paying full attention to each task and interaction. By cultivating mindfulness, you develop the ability to live with greater awareness and purpose. 59. Embrace change and resilience. Life is full of change, and the Stoics understood that we cannot control the external world. What we can control, however, is how we respond to change. Embracing change with resilience allows us to navigate life's uncertainties with strength and grace. Every morning, remind yourself that change is inevitable. Rather than resisting it, ask yourself, how can I adapt to the changes that are coming my way today? Whether it's a shift in your work, personal life, or even your health, change presents both challenges and opportunities for growth. The Stoics viewed challenges as opportunities to practice virtue and build resilience. When faced with hardship, they didn't lament their situation. Instead, they focused on their ability to respond with wisdom, courage, and calm. By embracing change, we build the resilience needed to handle whatever life throws our way. Start your day with the intention to face whatever challenges come your way with a resilient mindset. Embrace change as an opportunity for growth, and remember that your response is what matters most. 60. Follow your own path. In a world filled with noise and external expectations, it's easy to lose sight of your true path. The Stoics believed that we must follow our own path, guided by our values and inner wisdom, rather than being swayed by the opinions of others. To live a life of fulfillment, we must have the courage to pursue what truly matters to us, regardless of what others think. Every morning, reflect on your path. Are you following your true purpose, or are you being distracted by external pressures? By staying true to your inner values and vision, you align yourself with your authentic self. The Stoics taught that true freedom comes from within. When we stop seeking approval from others and instead focus on our own values, we find the courage to follow our unique path, even when it's difficult or unpopular. Start your day by reaffirming your commitment to your path. Even if it's challenging, take one step today that moves you closer to your true purpose. By following your own path, you create a life that is rich with meaning and fulfillment. 61. Focus on your response, not others' actions. In life, we can't control the actions of others, but we always have control over how we respond. The Stoics taught that our true power lies in our responses, not in trying to control others. By focusing on our own actions and reactions, we maintain inner peace and composure, no matter the external circumstances. Every morning, ask yourself, how will I respond to the challenges today? Rather than worrying about what others may say or do, focus on how you can choose to respond with integrity and calm. This shift in mindset liberates you from unnecessary stress and enables you to navigate difficult situations with grace. The Stoics practiced responding to every situation with equanimity, a calm, balanced approach, regardless of external circumstances. They believe that our reactions define us, and by mastering our responses, we take back control of our lives. Start your day with the intention to focus solely on your responses. No matter what happens today, remind yourself that you can choose how to respond with clarity, dignity, and wisdom. 62. Develop a morning ritual. A strong morning ritual sets the tone for the entire day. The Stoics believed in starting the day with intention, clarity, and purpose. By crafting a morning ritual that aligns with your values, you ensure that each day begins with a solid foundation for growth. Every morning, create space for stillness, reflection, and action. This might include reading a few lines of a Stoic text, journaling, meditating, or simply setting intentions for the day. Whatever it looks like, a morning ritual gives you control over how you begin the day, aligning your mind and spirit with your goals. The Stoics started their day by reflecting on their purpose and embracing gratitude for the present moment. By following this practice, they ensured that their minds were focused and their hearts prepared for the challenges ahead. Start your day by designing a morning ritual that helps you center yourself and set clear intentions. This could be a simple 10-minute routine, but the consistency and mindfulness you put into it will make all the difference in your day. 63. Practice humility and acceptance. Humility is a core value in Stoic philosophy, and it helps us stay grounded amidst success and failure. The Stoics believe that true greatness comes not from boasting about our achievements, but from accepting our limitations and learning from them. Every morning, remind yourself that no matter how much you've accomplished, there is always room for growth. Humility allows us to approach life with an open heart and mind, ready to learn from every experience. By accepting our imperfections, we free ourselves from the need to prove anything to others. The Stoics practiced humility not just by recognizing their own flaws, but by accepting the limitations of others. They understood that everyone is on their own journey, and that true wisdom lies in accepting both our strengths and weaknesses with grace. Start your day with the mindset of humility. Rather than focusing on what you can achieve, focus on how you can grow from every moment and learn from others. Humility doesn't mean belittling yourself. It means embracing your humanity and continuing to evolve. 64. Be mindful of your time. Time is our most precious resource, and the Stoics understood the importance of using it wisely. They taught that we should never waste a moment, for time is fleeting, and once passed, it can never be regained. Every morning, ask yourself, how will I use my time today? Rather than allowing time to slip away through distractions, decide how you want to invest each moment. Whether it's in work, relationships, or personal growth, use your time with intention. The Stoics didn't waste time on unnecessary pursuits. They focused their energy on meaningful activities that aligned with their values, allowing them to live fully and intentionally. Start your day with the realization that time is a gift. Before diving into tasks, reflect on what truly matters to you and how you can prioritize those actions today. By respecting your time, you honor the life you've been given and the potential within you. 65. Release attachment to outcomes. In our fast-paced, achievement-driven world, it's easy to become attached to specific outcomes. But the Stoics taught that attachment to results only leads to frustration and disappointment. Instead, we must focus on the process, not the outcome, trusting that our best efforts will lead us to the right place. Every morning, remind yourself that you cannot control the final outcome of your actions, only the effort you put in. Let go of the need to control every detail and focus on doing your best in the moment. Trust that by focusing on what you can control, you'll end up where you need to be. The Stoics practiced detachment from the results of their actions, understanding that outcomes are often beyond their control. They believe that true freedom lies in letting go of expectations and focusing solely on the present moment. Start your day with the intention to release attachment to outcomes. Rather than stressing over what may or may not happen, focus on putting in your best effort and trust that the results will follow. 66. Stay true to your values. In a world that constantly changes, your values serve as the anchor that keeps you grounded. The Stoics believed that a person's actions should be guided by virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, rather than by fleeting emotions or external pressures. Every morning, reflect on your core values. Are you living in alignment with them? If not, make a commitment to act in accordance with your values today. This alignment provides clarity and purpose, helping you make decisions that are true to who you are. The Stoics practiced living according to their values, even when it was difficult or unpopular. By holding fast to what they believed was right, they maintained inner peace and acted with integrity. Start your day by reaffirming your values and committing to act in alignment with them. This sense of purpose will guide you through the day, helping you make choices that reflect the person you want to become. 67. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful practices in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believe that by acknowledging the blessings in our lives, we develop a deeper sense of contentment and appreciation. Rather than focusing on what we lack, gratitude helps us recognize the abundance around us, both big and small. Every morning, take a moment to reflect on what you're grateful for. This could be as simple as appreciating your health, a meaningful relationship, or even the beauty of a new day. By cultivating gratitude, you shift your perspective from scarcity to abundance, helping you approach the day with a positive mindset. The Stoics practice gratitude not just for the good things, but also for the challenges, which they saw as opportunities for growth. By finding gratitude even in adversity, we build resilience and maintain inner peace. Start your day with a heart full of gratitude. Recognize the gifts that surround you, and let this sense of thankfulness guide your actions and mindset throughout the day. When you make gratitude a daily practice, you'll find that life feels fuller and more meaningful. 68. Appreciate the simple things. In a world that constantly urges us to chase after more, the Stoics emphasize the importance of appreciating simplicity. By finding contentment in life's simple pleasures, we cultivate peace and avoid unnecessary desires that can lead to frustration. Every morning, take a moment to appreciate the small things. The warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of birds chirping, or a quiet cup of coffee. These small moments hold great value when we allow ourselves to truly notice them. The Stoics didn't seek wealth or status for their own sake. Instead, they found richness in the present moment, in their relationships, and in their personal growth. By focusing on what truly matters, they lived fulfilling lives with fewer distractions. Start your day by embracing the simplicity around you. Take a deep breath and let the small, everyday experiences ground you in the present. When you appreciate the simple things, you realize that life is already full of blessings. 69. Embrace challenges as opportunities. The Stoics believe that challenges are not obstacles to avoid, but opportunities for growth. Every difficulty we face is a chance to develop wisdom, resilience, and character. Every morning, remind yourself that challenges will arise today, and that's okay. Rather than fearing them or wishing they would go away, choose to embrace them as chances to grow stronger. Challenges are not enemies. They are teachers in disguise. The Stoics taught that adversity sharpens the mind and strengthens the spirit. By approaching difficulties with this mindset, we transform them into stepping stones on the path to greatness. Start your day by reframing challenges as opportunities. When obstacles appear, face them with confidence, knowing they will help you grow and become the best version of yourself. 70. Practice mindfulness in every action. Mindfulness, the art of being fully present in the moment, is a cornerstone of Stoic practice. The Stoics believe that by paying attention to each action, we gain deeper clarity and control over our thoughts and behaviors. Every morning, set an intention to be mindful in all that you do. Whether you're eating, working, or talking to a loved one, stay fully present in the moment. Mindfulness helps you break free from distractions and become more intentional with your actions. The Stoics practice mindfulness in their daily lives, making sure that their actions align with their values. They were conscious of their choices, aware that each moment is an opportunity to live virtuously. Start your day by committing to mindfulness. Every action, no matter how small, is a chance to align with your higher self and live in harmony with your values. By practicing mindfulness, you create a life of purpose and presence. 71. Foster inner peace through stillness. In the chaos of daily life, finding moments of stillness is essential for cultivating inner peace. The Stoics practice stillness to clear their minds, allowing them to respond thoughtfully to life's challenges. Every morning, carve out time for stillness, whether through meditation, quiet reflection, or simply sitting in silence. This moment of peace helps you reset and recharge, preparing you to face the day with a calm mind and a centered heart. The Stoics found that stillness allowed them to hear their inner voice and align with their higher purpose. By embracing moments of calm, we strengthen our ability to navigate the stormy seas of life with grace and composure. Start your day by dedicating time to stillness. Allow yourself the space to breathe deeply and clear your mind. In stillness, you reconnect with your true self, making it easier to face whatever the day may bring. 72. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure is often seen as a setback, but the Stoics saw it as an inevitable part of life's journey. They believed that failure was a necessary teacher, one that provides valuable lessons for growth and improvement. Every morning, remind yourself that failure is not something to fear. Rather, it's an opportunity to learn and adjust. When you embrace failure with the understanding that it's part of the process, you'll never be held back by fear. The Stoics practice viewing failure as a chance to refine their approach, strengthen their resolve, and move forward with greater wisdom. They understood that true success is built on a foundation of learning from mistakes. Start your day with the awareness that failure is not an end, but a stepping stone. By embracing setbacks as opportunities for growth, you free yourself from the fear of failure and empower yourself to take bold, confident actions. 73. Live with purpose. Living with purpose gives our lives meaning and direction. The Stoics emphasize the importance of understanding our purpose in life, knowing what we stand for, and pursuing it with passion and dedication. Every morning, take time to reflect on your purpose. Ask yourself, what is my mission today? Whether your purpose is to help others, grow personally, or contribute to a cause, understanding your why helps you live with intention. The Stoics lived according to their purpose, knowing that a life driven by clear intentions is a life well lived. By pursuing your purpose, you remain true to yourself and avoid the distractions that come from external pressures. Start your day with a commitment to your purpose. Let your values guide your actions and ensure that every decision is aligned with the life you want to create. 74. Be mindful of your thoughts. Our thoughts shape the way we experience the world, and the Stoics understood the power of the mind. They believed that by controlling our thoughts, we could control our reactions, emotions, and ultimately our lives. Every morning, take a moment to observe your thoughts. Notice if they are positive, negative, or neutral, and recognize how they shape your mood and energy. By becoming aware of your thoughts, you gain control over them, preventing negative thinking patterns from influencing your behavior. The Stoics practiced this mindfulness by reflecting on their thoughts and examining them for wisdom. They understood that the mind could be a powerful ally or a dangerous adversary, depending on how we chose to direct it. Start your day with the intention to be aware of your thoughts. Instead of letting them dictate your actions, observe them from a place of detachment and choose to focus on those that support your growth and well-being. 75. Focus on what you can control. One of the central tenets of Stoic philosophy is understanding the distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. The Stoics taught that we should focus our energy on the things within our control, such as our thoughts, attitudes, and actions, while letting go of the things we cannot change. Every morning, remind yourself of this principle. Ask yourself, what can I control today? By focusing on what is within your power, you free yourself from frustration and anxiety over external events. The Stoics knew that many things in life were beyond their control, but they also understood that they could always control their responses to those things. By accepting what we cannot change and focusing on what we can, we gain peace of mind and reduce unnecessary stress. Start your day by identifying what you can control and taking deliberate action in those areas. Let go of the rest and remember that your power lies in your ability to choose your response to every situation. 76. Practice self-reliance. Self-reliance is a crucial Stoic virtue. It encourages us to look within ourselves for strength, rather than depending on external sources for validation or support. Every morning, remind yourself that you have the inner strength to handle whatever comes your way. You don't need to rely on others to define your worth or success. By cultivating self-reliance, you gain confidence and independence, empowering you to face challenges with resilience. The Stoics believed that true freedom came from within, by relying on one's own wisdom, courage, and virtue. When we learn to trust ourselves, we become less dependent on the opinions and circumstances of others. Start your day by reinforcing your self-reliance. Affirm to yourself that you have all the resources you need to navigate the day with strength and dignity. 77. Embrace the present. The Stoics were masters of living in the present moment. They understood that life is fleeting, and the only time we truly have is now. Every morning, remind yourself to stay present. Let go of any regrets about the past or worries about the future, and focus on what you can do in this moment. By embracing the present, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and anxiety. The Stoics taught that true happiness is found in the present moment, not in the past or future. By accepting each moment as it comes, we become fully engaged in life, experiencing it with clarity and purpose. Start your day by fully immersing yourself in the present. When you live in the now, you make each moment more meaningful and productive, creating a life filled with peace and fulfillment. 78. Practice virtue. Virtue is the highest good in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believed that living a virtuous life, one guided by wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, is the key to achieving true happiness. Every morning, ask yourself how you can practice virtue today. What actions, decisions, or behaviors align with your highest values? By living in accordance with virtue, you ensure that your life is guided by principles that bring you fulfillment and purpose. The Stoics believe that living virtuously brings peace of mind and joy, regardless of external circumstances. Virtue is not something to be achieved once, but a daily practice, a habit that strengthens over time. Start your day with the commitment to act virtuously. Let wisdom guide your decisions, courage drive your actions, justice guide your relationships, and temperance balance your desires. 79. Stay humble. Humility is another cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics understood that no matter how successful or accomplished we become, we are still subject to the forces of nature and fate. Humility helps us stay grounded, preventing arrogance and the belief that we are above others. Every morning, remind yourself to stay humble. Recognize that every success is the result of circumstances, effort, and even luck. By embracing humility, we maintain a sense of perspective and gratitude, which keeps us open to learning and growth. The Stoics practiced humility by acknowledging their limitations and embracing their imperfections. Humility allows us to remain open-minded, willing to learn from others and from life's challenges. Start your day by embracing humility. Remember that no matter what you achieve, you are part of a larger whole, and the journey is as important as the destination. 80. Focus on the journey, not the destination. The Stoics understood that the journey is what truly matters, not the end goal. While having goals and aspirations is important, the Stoics believe that we should focus on how we live each day, not just the outcome. Every morning, remind yourself that life is a journey, not a destination. While you may have dreams and ambitions, the true richness of life lies in the daily experience. The lessons learned, the growth achieved, and the moments of joy along the way. The Stoics practice this principle by finding joy in the process, not just in the achievement. By focusing on the present and embracing the journey, they found fulfillment in each step they took. Start your day by committing to live fully in the present moment. Enjoy the process of learning, growing, and experiencing life, knowing that the journey itself holds the greatest value. 81. Live with integrity. Integrity is the foundation upon which the Stoics built their character. It means acting in alignment with your values and principles, even when no one is watching. Every morning, ask yourself if your actions are in harmony with your core values. When you live with integrity, your decisions reflect the truth of who you are, and your actions are consistent with your beliefs. The Stoics believe that a life lived with integrity is a life lived without regret. By acting in alignment with your true self, you build trust and respect with yourself and others. Start your day by checking in with your values. Let your integrity guide your actions, knowing that it strengthens your character and fosters peace of mind. 82. Accept impermanence. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the acceptance of impermanence, the understanding that everything in life is temporary. This applies to both the good and the bad. Every morning, remind yourself that change is inevitable. The good moments will pass, but so will the challenges. By accepting this impermanence, we are less likely to become attached to fleeting circumstances and more able to appreciate the present. The Stoics embrace the impermanence of life as a way to stay grounded and detached from the highs and lows. This acceptance of change helps us avoid unnecessary stress and anxiety about the future. Start your day by embracing the fleeting nature of life. By accepting that everything is temporary, you free yourself to enjoy each moment without clinging to it, and you approach challenges with a steady mind. 83. Embody grace under pressure. Grace under pressure was one of the most valued qualities in Stoic philosophy. It's the ability to remain composed and calm, no matter what external challenges arise. Every morning, set an intention to maintain your grace under pressure. Whether facing difficult situations, conflicts, or stress, remind yourself that you have the power to stay calm and collected. Grace is not the absence of challenges, but the ability to respond to them with dignity and poise. The Stoics practice this principle by training themselves to remain unshaken in the face of adversity. By keeping a steady mind, they could respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively to life's pressures. Start your day by mentally preparing yourself to remain graceful under pressure. Focus on maintaining your calm and dignity no matter what happens, knowing that this will strengthen your resilience and inner peace. 84. Practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is a powerful Stoic practice. It means letting go of anger and resentment, and instead choosing to release others from the debt we perceive they owe us. Every morning, reflect on any grudges or hurt feelings you may be holding on to. Recognize that holding on to anger only harms you and prevents you from moving forward. Forgiveness is not about excusing the actions of others, but freeing yourself from the burden of carrying resentment. The Stoics understood that forgiveness is essential for peace of mind. By forgiving others, we regain our inner peace and free ourselves from the emotional weight of negative emotions. Start your day by choosing to forgive. Let go of any grudges and release the burden of resentment, knowing that forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, not the other person. 85. Foster gratitude. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most profound Stoic practices. It's the ability to appreciate what you have, rather than focusing on what you lack. Every morning, take a moment to reflect on the things you are grateful for. Whether it's your health, your relationships, or the simple joys of life, express gratitude for these blessings. The more you practice gratitude, the more you train your mind to focus on abundance rather than scarcity. The Stoics practice gratitude by acknowledging the good in their lives, even in difficult times. They understood that by focusing on gratitude, they could maintain a positive outlook and find joy even in challenging circumstances. Start your day by expressing gratitude. Acknowledge the gifts you've been given and let gratitude shape your perspective throughout the day. 86. Practice mindful breathing. Breathing is an often overlooked tool for emotional regulation, but the Stoics used it as a way to center themselves and maintain calm. Mindful breathing helps us stay present and manage stress. Every morning, take a few minutes to focus on your breath. Inhale deeply, hold for a moment, and exhale slowly, allowing your body and mind to settle. By practicing mindful breathing, you activate your parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes relaxation and reduces stress. The Stoics recognize the power of breath to calm the mind and focus attention. They often use breathing exercises as a way to center themselves and remain composed in the face of challenges. Start your day by practicing mindful breathing. Allow each breath to bring you back to the present moment, grounding you in the here and now, ready to face the day with calm and clarity. 87. Nurture compassion. Compassion is a key Stoic practice, though often misunderstood. The Stoics didn't just believe in self-control and indifference to pain. They also believed in the importance of kindness and understanding toward others. Every morning, reflect on how you can show compassion to others, whether it's offering a kind word, lending a helping hand, or simply being present for someone in need. Compassion strengthens our connections with others and deepens our understanding of the human experience. The Stoics believe that we are all part of a larger community, and practicing compassion strengthens that bond. By showing compassion, we not only help others, but also enhance our own sense of fulfillment and purpose. Start your day with the intention to practice compassion. Seek opportunities to show kindness to others, knowing that each act of compassion creates a ripple effect of goodwill. 88. Embrace silence. Silence is not just the absence of noise. It is a powerful tool for self-reflection and growth. The Stoics valued silence as a way to cultivate inner peace and clarity of thought. Every morning, take a few moments of silence before diving into the busyness of the day. This time allows you to reset your mind and find clarity amidst the noise of the world. By embracing silence, you create a space to hear your inner voice and reconnect with your true self. The Stoics practiced silence as a form of mental discipline. They knew that by quieting the mind, they could gain a deeper understanding of their thoughts and emotions, leading to more thoughtful and deliberate actions. Start your day by embracing silence for a few minutes. Allow the stillness to calm your mind and prepare you for the day ahead. 89. Learn from failure. Failure is an inevitable part of life, but it is also one of the greatest teachers we can have. The Stoics saw failure not as something to fear, but as an opportunity to learn and grow. Every morning, remind yourself that failure is not the end. It is simply a stepping stone on the path to success. The Stoics practiced resilience by reframing failure as a learning experience, something that strengthens our character and refines our skills. When we embrace failure with this mindset, it no longer has the power to discourage us. Instead, it becomes a tool for growth and improvement. Start your day with the mindset that every challenge, every setback, is an opportunity to learn. Approach failure with grace, knowing that each one brings you one step closer to your goals. 90. Practice minimalism. The Stoics were masters of simplicity. They believed that in order to live a fulfilling life, we must eliminate the excess and focus on what truly matters. Every morning, reflect on the things in your life that are unnecessary. What can you remove to make room for more peace, joy, and purpose? By practicing minimalism, you declutter your mind and your environment, allowing you to focus on what truly brings you happiness and fulfillment. The Stoics lived by the principle that less is more. They understood that happiness does not come from material possessions or external validation, but from a life aligned with purpose and integrity. Start your day by simplifying your environment and your mind. Let go of anything that distracts you from your true priorities and focus on what truly matters. 91. Practice self-compassion. Self-compassion is a cornerstone of Stoic practice. It's the ability to be kind to yourself, especially when you make mistakes or face challenges. Every morning, take a moment to show yourself some compassion. Recognize that you are human, and it's okay to have flaws and make mistakes. By treating yourself with kindness, you build the resilience to face life's challenges with confidence and grace. The Stoics believed that self-compassion was essential for mental and emotional well-being. They knew that by accepting themselves with all their imperfections, they could navigate life's ups and downs with equanimity. Start your day by speaking kindly to yourself. Acknowledge your strengths and imperfections, and treat yourself with the same compassion that you would offer a friend. 92. Practice humility. Humility is one of the most powerful virtues in Stoic philosophy. It involves recognizing that we are all part of a larger whole and that no one is above others. Every morning, remind yourself of the importance of humility. No matter how successful or knowledgeable you become, stay grounded and aware of the fact that you can always learn from others. The Stoics practiced humility by acknowledging their limitations and remaining open to new knowledge and experiences. Humility allows us to approach life with a sense of wonder and curiosity, knowing that there is always more to learn. It also helps us cultivate gratitude for what we have and the people who help us along the way. Start your day by practicing humility. Recognize that everyone has something to teach you and approach each person and situation with openness and respect. 93. Develop your character. Character is the true measure of a person, and the Stoics believe that it is developed through consistent effort and practice. Building your character involves aligning your actions with your values and cultivating virtues like courage, wisdom, and justice. Every morning, set an intention to focus on developing your character. Think about how you can embody your core values in the decisions you make and the actions you take throughout the day. The Stoics believe that our character is not defined by external achievements, but by our internal virtues. By working on our character, we create a solid foundation for a meaningful and fulfilling life. Start your day by reflecting on your character. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? And how can I align my actions with my highest values? 94. Focus on the present. The Stoics were masters of living in the present moment. They understood that the past is gone and the future is uncertain, so the only moment we truly have is the present. Every morning, remind yourself that today is the only day that truly matters. Don't dwell on past mistakes or worry about the future. Instead, focus your energy on the present moment and take intentional actions that align with your goals. The Stoics practiced mindfulness by focusing on what was within their control, the present moment. They understood that by focusing on the now, they could live a more peaceful, purposeful life. Start your day by centering your mind on the present. Let go of any distractions or worries and commit to fully experiencing the day ahead. 95. Practice gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to shift your perspective and enhance your emotional well-being. The Stoics practice gratitude by acknowledging the small and large blessings in their lives, recognizing that everything we have is a gift. Every morning, before your feet even touch the ground, take a moment to reflect on the things you're grateful for. Gratitude doesn't just improve your mood, it also helps you to shift your mindset, focusing on the abundance in your life rather than what's lacking. The Stoics often reminded themselves to be grateful for their health, relationships, and the simple joys that many often overlook. By focusing on gratitude, we can train ourselves to find peace in the present moment and build resilience in the face of hardship. Start your day with a grateful heart. Reflect on at least 3 things you're thankful for, no matter how big or small, and carry that feeling throughout your day. 96. Practice resilience. Life can be tough, and challenges are inevitable. The Stoics believe that how we respond to hardship is what defines us, not the hardship itself. Every morning, remind yourself of your inner strength and resilience. Know that no matter what happens today, you have the power to handle it with grace and courage. Challenges are not something to avoid. They are opportunities to practice patience and perseverance. The Stoics practice resilience by accepting that suffering is a part of life, but it doesn't have to define us. Through resilience, we can grow stronger, more compassionate, and more capable of facing whatever comes our way. Start your day by embracing resilience. Tell yourself that you can handle whatever life throws at you and that you have the strength to grow from it. 97. Confront your fears. Fear is a natural part of being human, but the Stoics believe that fear should not control us. Instead, they taught that we should confront our fears head-on, recognizing them as opportunities to grow stronger. Every morning, ask yourself, what am I afraid of today? Whatever your fear may be, confront it directly. Whether it's public speaking, failure, or uncertainty, the Stoics believe that by acknowledging our fears, we take away their power over us. The Stoics practice courage by embracing discomfort and taking action despite their fears. This doesn't mean being fearless. It means being brave enough to face our fears and act in spite of them. Start your day by confronting a small fear. It could be speaking up in a meeting or taking on a new task. By taking action despite fear, you'll build confidence and resilience over time. 98. Be present with others. Our interactions with others are some of the most meaningful parts of life. The Stoics valued relationships and understood that being fully present with others was an essential part of cultivating meaningful connections. Every morning, remind yourself to be present with the people you encounter throughout the day. Put away distractions like your phone and focus on truly listening and engaging with the people around you. The Stoics believe that being present with others not only strengthens relationships, but also helps us develop empathy and wisdom. By being fully present, we show others respect and give them the gift of our attention. Start your day by committing to be present in every interaction. Whether with family, friends, or colleagues, make a conscious effort to listen and engage fully. 99. Learn to let go. Holding on to grudges, anger, or past mistakes only weighs us down. The Stoics taught that to live a peaceful life, we must learn to let go of what no longer serves us. Every morning, ask yourself, what am I holding on to that is holding me back? It could be an old grudge, a mistake from the past, or even unrealistic expectations. Let go of these burdens so that you can move forward with a lighter heart and mind. The Stoics practice forgiveness, not just towards others, but towards themselves as well. They understood that letting go is not a sign of weakness, but of strength and wisdom. Start your day by letting go of something that no longer serves you. Whether it's a negative thought, a past mistake, or a resentment, release it and make space for peace and growth. 100. Practice forgiveness. Forgiveness is one of the greatest gifts you can give to yourself and to others. The Stoics believe that holding on to anger and resentment harms us more than anyone else. Every morning, reflect on anyone you need to forgive. Is there someone in your life who has wronged you? Rather than carrying that burden of anger, choose forgiveness as an act of freedom. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting what happened, but it means releasing the emotional hold that it has over you. By forgiving others, you allow yourself to heal and move forward, unburdened by past hurts. Start your day by practicing forgiveness. Let go of any grudges or negative feelings towards others and feel the weight lifted from your shoulders. As we come to the end of this journey through the principles of Stoic philosophy, we've explored powerful practices that can transform your mornings and, in turn, your entire life. Remember, the Stoics believe that true happiness doesn't come from external circumstances, but from how we respond to them. By adopting these practices, you take control over your mindset, actions, and emotions, which gives you the power to shape your life with intention, purpose, and inner peace. Every morning is a new opportunity to practice self-control, resilience, gratitude, and growth. The Stoic way is not about avoiding challenges, but facing them with a calm, focused mind and an unshakable sense of purpose. Whether it's living fully in the present moment, practicing gratitude, or confronting your fears, each step brings you closer to the life you truly desire. One where you are in charge of your responses, emotions, and actions. As you wake up tomorrow and each day after, remember the power to live a meaningful, fulfilling life lies within you. It's in every small moment, every choice, and every thought that you nurture. The Stoics have provided us with the tools to live better, and now it's your turn to make them a part of your daily routine. If this video resonated with you, if these Stoic lessons sparked a new sense of clarity, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with others who might benefit. Keep exploring Stoic philosophy with us in future videos, and remember, the most important step is taking action in your own life. Thank you for joining us. Stay calm, stay focused, and keep living fully.